what you got. Show me what you got. Down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God. Ain't no reason to back down, so step it up. God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God. Show me what you got. Back down, up, back down, back up. 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 Show me what you got.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again. It is Sunday. It is the final day of the 2021 VALORANT Oceania Tour Stage 2 Closed Qualifier number 1. My name is Mitch Conky Concannon. Alongside me, as always, is the better part of Konkmoto, Dion Komodo Perrotta. Dion, how you doing, my friend?
We're doing good. Yesterday was huge. It was massive. It was awesome. But we're ready to get into some finals here.
Absolutely, man. It was funny. I actually woke up a little bit later than usual this morning with a hangover from yesterday, basically how it felt after screaming at a screen for about 9 hours straight and doing nothing more. But honestly, man, it was so worth it. We had a fantastic day, of course. It was Order versus Wildcard first, besting Order, obviously, coming ahead of that one in a 2-1. And then it was next up Bliss versus Straight Out of the Zoo, 2-1 as well. And then the final series, obviously, Bliss taking down Wildcard 2-1 too. So Bliss played 8 maps yesterday to manage to get all the way through. But Dion, let's actually recap on how this tournament works across the board for anyone who might just be joining us for the first time. A reminder, this is stage number 2. So we have 2 lots of open qualifiers, 2 lots of closed qualifiers, and then jumping into those finals, which obviously is where the points come through.
Yeah, and of course, moving on forward from this one as well, we will be looking at some money for all of the folks. But here, you know, all the teams just looking to get toward those next stages. The money is a little bit of a bonus at the end. Teams want to get over into those NA last chance at quals, but the regional finals is where some of these teams are going to be picking up some extra cash. 10 grand prize pool, top place taken home 4 grand.
Absolutely, and of course, you know, that's not all they're playing for. The Vodafone MVP Awards, which will be provided to the best individual players that we do see throughout the competition. And man, after yesterday, hey, thinking about Jungle Wow, given the amount of amazing plays that he actually brought through. But let's double check on the bracket, what we have seen in this leg of the competition so far. There's been plenty of chaos since Thursday, Friday, Saturday, now here on Sunday. The little red slot there, the grand finals, Order versus Team Bliss, a best of 5. But Dion, man, what a wild tournament that we've had.
Yeah, so, you know, if we look at any, I guess, upsets maybe that we could touch upon, one of them being the Direwolves, right? Getting knocked out very early on in the mix, Straight Out of the Zoo, who had a pretty good run, all things considered. You know, a quote pug team that don't really put in the practice and the effort, rock up to the day and toward the server, and they come up and they get some heads turning toward them. Same kind of following in pursuit with that they also managed to drop out Mind Freak as well, which was one of the teams that we were looking to sort of seek in our top 4 area. You know, in the region, we got Order, Bliss, Wildcard, and Mind Freak is where we're currently situating teams. So for them to get knocked out early, they're going to have to try and see what they do next time.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Mindfreak, obviously, they've been at the top end of most of our competitions in the region over the last couple of months, and to see them go out early was a very, very strange feeling, but great, you know, work from the other team. Straight out of the zoo looked great. Obviously, we saw Paradox, you know, manage to best Kanga, knocking them out of the competition. It has been a really, really nice just way to sort of experience all of what these different teams have to offer, and now something a little bit different as well. Order versus Team Bliss. Bliss, a team that I don't think we've actually seen in a recent grand final of something of this caliber. You know, they've mentioned that Order is a little bit of their kryptonite as well. So I wonder what they've actually managed to do in practice. We spoke to Major. They said they had a long day, but at least at the end of the day, it was worth it, bringing themselves to that grand final. Hopefully they go in with a good mindset and they can, you know, really take the test to Order.
Yeah, well, looking throughout the tournament so far, right, we have seen that both Bliss and Wildcard, who were fighting to try and get into this grand final slot, had played each other, and had both played against Order, rather. So we saw previously that Wildcard managed to take a map off of Order. We didn't really see the same for Bliss, but the other week, you know, it got really close between Order and Bliss, you know, pushed over to some overtimes, if I'm remembering correctly as well. So it really does depend on what sort of maps we are going to be witnessing here to see what Bliss is going to be able to do, because their most recent fight did see that Order kind of slapped Bliss around. So hopefully we don't see that today.
Absolutely. So let's give a little bit of a recap on these rosters, of course. Bringing in Order, it's a team that we know we've seen so many times before. Tux, Texter, Autumn, Disco, and Signed. Of course, Signed being the newest addition to the roster, picking up the Sova, the Astra, and obviously a fantastic player that we have seen, you know, replacing Dick Stacey. Coach Dick now at the top of the guys, you know, watching them play, obviously an experienced bunch, and being able to look up to a respectable leader in Dick Stacey. But yeah, look, you know, Tux and Texter sort of, I guess, the glue that brings the team together, playing, you know, what we see Viper. We've even seen Tux bring out Sky, Texter with Sage, etc. And then Autumn and Disco, the big sharp boys. They sort of flex around the Rays, Reyna, Jet, and yeah, look, fantastic players across the board. Really, really broad spectrum of individual performance, and that's why they continue to see themselves at the top.
Now, 100% looking to try and take this grand final like they did in the last one to gather up those points, but setting themselves this stage to stay on that pedestal, to keep being the dominating force throughout the region. Of course, though, they are going to be battling up against Team Bliss today. And of course, on this roster, we do see photos as well. We absolutely love it. It's easy, Precious, Major, Ronsky, and Junglewell.
Man, what a team that we did see yesterday. It was such a slog. That wildcard series was electric. It had absolutely everything. We saw big individual performances stepping up from absolutely everyone. So running it through, Easy typically picking up that Sova. We see Fleshist on the Killjoy, the Sage, obviously Major, Ronsky, the duelist of the team, and then Junglewell. Again, Mr. Consistent, the Astra, the Viper. He was excellent. I've seen a 1v5, some other ridiculous things. We obviously saw the ace from Ronsky on Icebox as well. This team is spicy, but again, you know, it is a really tough contest. After hearing from Major in the interview yesterday, Order is their kryptonite, their biggest challenge, and I'm wondering if they've got what it takes today to overwhelm and overcome, because that would mean so much to them. But checking up on the head-to-head, isn't even a surprise. Ronsky up against Autumn, two of the duelists of the team. You know, we saw Ronsky with such a big individual performance over the last couple of days, and Autumn, how else could we forget about him? They both typically pick up the Jet, and yeah, individual incredible players between each other.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how these guys are going to be able to open up the entries in this game today, and whether or not there's going to be any punishment to try and be seen. You know, sometimes if you've got a really powerful player on the opposing side, if you figure out their tendencies on where they're liking to be playing around the map, you might want to put over two of your players, you know, eliminate them nice and early, go in with a game plan like that, and really make an instance like Order. You know, we know how brilliant Autumn can be. If they lose him first, it's going to make them readjust how they're going to play throughout the rounds. So that might be a little bit of a tactic that Bliss want to be on throwing on through. But at the end of the day, you know, this is going to be a best of 5 grand final. Order will catch on to that very early on. It's really going to be a big test for these teams today.
And speaking of best of 5s, Dion, that means that we do get to see absolutely everything come out. We've been listening to everyone's feedback, of course. You know, sometimes that best of 1 advantage might not be what everyone wants to see. So today, we actually have the full array of maps. So bringing that one up below us right now, we're actually going to understand how this veto works. So by the way of it, you know, given the fact that Order did manage to go into it with, you know, that upper bracket run, we do actually see them have the first initial 2 map picks. So Order are going to go for split immediately. immediately. No surprise there. Obviously, it's their, the map that they punish the most teams on. Same with Bind, obviously super fantastic. And it's also no surprise that Bliss are obviously going to be going for Icebox. And cool to see Ascent. So it's actually Haven that's going to be the last map. Maybe we're not even going to need it. Same with Ascent. Obviously, in a best of 5, the winner after 3 potential maps. So Dion, looking at what we've got in front of us, again, at the end of the day, when it is a 5 maps, sometimes it might just be the momentum. But at the end of the day, if we potentially could see all of them come through. So what are your predictions going into the morning or the afternoon, rather, of what we're seeing and what we could potentially see in this matchup?
Like, if I was to go on what we'd previously seen and going into all this one where Order knows that there's a little bit more stakes in this grand final, potentially to get that upper slot seed, probably looking toward an Order 3-0, but I would not be surprised if we get something like 3-1, right? We know that Icebox is a really strong map to come through from Bliss, and it's also understandable that they look to chuck Haven right at the end. We saw that yesterday, it was 13-11 that was actually the wildcard map that they got taken off, Bliss yesterday. So in their 2-1 endeavor, they're more comfortable on the other maps that was Icebox and Bind. So we'll have to see how Bliss are going to be able to tackle Order on Bind. Because if you do look at this, right, Split, you probably do look for Order cleanly. Bind could be very, very close, where it could go either way, more tended over towards Order, however. And Icebox, I mean, I would probably prop Bliss up on Icebox, and then Ascent, yeah, that'd be a bit of a fickle one. So it's always going to be hard to put your predictions down on where we think this is going to go. But if I was to call it, it'd be like your 3-0 or 3-1 to Order.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking. I reckon same as you, Split, Bind should be going the way of Order. I think Bliss might show up on Icebox. That's obviously a map that they're very, very equipped with. And then, by the time we get there, I think it may very well be Order to take Ascent as well. Super clean. I think we saw them, it was 13-2 wildcard on Ascent yesterday. So, incredible bunch of players on the team. But with that being said, I do feel like Haven was actually only lost out in the end by Bliss due to them, not being able to close. One of the biggest things was we saw a huge 4K from Infrequent, a huge 4K from Noz that really set the pace for the teams, which I think that's where Bliss fell by the wayside. So big opportunities for all of these players to come in and really show what they have, of course, going into this best of 5 grand final. Again, it is just for seeding, but I think at the end of the day, Order, they need to still show there's still a lot of pressure on them to prove that they're the best team in the region, and as to why.
Yeah, no, that's 100% the thing. They've sort of seen a little bit of close matches be had toward them from Bliss, from Mindfreak and stuff like that. We've also heard some rumblings from those teams as well in sort of where they feel everybody is at the moment, who is the team to beat. All the teams essentially saying over towards Order, but you also hear that some of them, sometimes are saying Wildcard or Mindfreak and everything. It can be a little bit of their Achilles heel. So it's good to see that these teams are given the opportunities to continue to play against each other in, the official standpoint. But it's going to be even more strengthened by the fact later on in this tournament and everything, because when we do get to those proper areas that they are for the points and they are for those slots to try to go over towards NA, that's where everything is really going to come down to. You need to give it your all.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess that's what we have sort of seen. I don't feel like anyone did truthfully hold back. It was a little sad to see Mindfreak going out of it so early. Again, they've been a really, really good run of the team. Direwolves also a bit shocked to see them caught off by straight out of the zoo. But look, it doesn't matter. We've talked about it all. We are now moving into the first map of the grand final. Opening us up will be Split. Again, reminder, everyone, welcome. This is, of course, the 2021 VALORANT Oceania Tour. We're in stage number 2, closed qualifier number 1. If you do want to sign up for open qualifier number 2, that's going to be on May 13th. Another opportunity for any team that is developing to get and play up against the best in these closed qualifiers. Dion, it's Konkmodo running it back for this grand final. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it indeed. Both of our predictions aligning in this matchup as well. Your 3-0 or your 3-1 towards Order. I would give benefit of the doubt over towards Bliss as well. From what we've seen over the course of this tournament, I do believe that they'll be able to take a map off of Order. But for which one? I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see for that front.
So the agents, no real surprises here, I guess you could say. We are seeing signed again on that Astra. See big impact from this player. Ronski going for the Reyna. Looks like the spike is going to be left for the time being. Ronski, great opening pick onto Autumn as well. And then the barrier wall to go down for the time being. They're just going to tap away. So still prepped up, waiting to see if they want to move towards that B site. But 3 members of Bliss already ready to rock and roll at that position.
You talk about the head-to-head that we already seen, right? The Autumn versus the Ronski, and you immediately see the broken end of that one. Autumn getting hit immediately off the get-go. Things start to slow down. Get the stage wall over through mid, the slows over through B main as well. Order back to the drawing board and what they want to go with here. I'm actually just trying to look at it. We have a mirror match between these two teams in the agent picks.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? You know, we're not seeing too much disparity, and I think on a map like this, you know, there is, I guess, not a meta. You know, we do typically see the Viper sort of move around. There is the opportunity for the Jet as well here and there. But it is now action time. Moving on to A. Boombot to go down. Nobody up on the rafters. Jungle is the man on the site. We also do have another just waiting patiently. That's going to be major, but it's Ronski. Ronski, hello! Picking up 4 massive kills in the opener. The man is awake and easy to shut it down. A flawless round to start us for Bliss. What a beginning.
What a beginning indeed. Ronski, you talk about that crispy opening in the very beginning, but just peeking out of the heavens up on those rafters, you know, able to tap away for 3 of the Order members where they weren't able to retaliate whatsoever. Easy to just waltz his way in toward heaven at the end there to take out the last soldier. It just really was a clean pistol round to come through from Bliss. You know, you saw them kind of divert Order's attention over toward that A site as well. They had the wall over through mid, and they had the slow up over at B main. So Bliss, they know what to do on split here. The real thing to me, though, is what's going to be happening when we get out the rifles. For right now, there ain't no rifles to be seen for the side of Order. There's pistols, and they've actually managed to find the first kill.
Oda Ronski gets a 4K in the pistol, picks up the Vandal, and then dies to a classic. This is Valorant for you. Also, my phone is now on silent, everyone, just so you know. Moving back into this round. Order now slowly starting to creep their way into the A position. No heal yet up for Texter. Just going to be waiting for that one. Tux, obviously low. Only needing the heal to come out on the Reyna. The Devour, easy. Still holding that line very, very aggressively. Does get the info. Not wanting to re-aggress though for the time being. The bot is there for the Gravity Well. And Easy actually takes a lot of damage here as well.
Yeah, and because he got extra damage whilst he was trying to heal, it took a little bit to get started, but it will be coming on through. Best part you like about the Sage and the Sky is damage done is not necessarily damage that's seated in stone in this matchup right now, but all of the flourishing of frags over at the ramp position, you'll want to see them collect upon them. No, you are seeing Order start to get into it. It's a 2 versus 2 situation. Order, they still do have Texter alive. 20 seconds for the heals. He'll get the plant here. That's an extra tick towards the res. He's only 1 away. If he finds a frag here somehow, we could actually see Order go for that resurrection and see how they want to do in this post plant, though. Major's creeping around. He's got his teammate in Flesh still looking up toward the heavens. 29 HP here. Major finds Texter, and now it's all down to Tux.
The double up of the turret, it is going to be destroyed, and they are in the defuse. Tux not really able to do a whole lot. Has to just sort of wait. And there it is. Does get the Nano Swarm down, but maybe just trying to find some closing damage as well. Great shot from Major. But I feel like Bliss did lose a lot in that round.
Yeah, just a little bit in the end there. You know, it kind of almost nullifies going in toward this bonus round. Hey, if they were able to balance a little bit more of their economy, if, you know, they didn't buy too much of their abilities, they might have been actually able to fully purchase up into this round, but they're going to just make sure that they're going to be able to do in the next round, see what damage that they can do in this one specifically. And this is definitely going to be the time for Order to, you know, try and get on the board, try to do so quite cleanly. They've already got that resurrection available, as I said earlier. Turret's going to be destroyed, revealing Jungle's position and the weapon. Double peek out from the Order boys. Gravity well used. Not following to that one, but Ronski off in the distance. He's managed to find Sign and the spike.
Yeah, look at this control. They are straight down mid right now. Tux is going to at least find the trade onto Jungle. Disco also to drop Fleshist. So certainly making it a little bit tough here. Ronski going for gold, though, trying to push his way in. Might actually catch off Texter. He will. The Devour is there, fully up healed, and now Disco also going to be tagged up a fair bit as well. That's going to be Major finding him. Bliss with this aggression, this control. Ronski, he's going to be looking to pick up a second 4K in only 3 rounds, Dion. Look for the swing. Doesn't
Ooh,
quite get the shots off to begin with. Autumn, though, a little bit shaky. Not able to quite connect. He does have the Devour available if he is to find the shot. And there it is. But the orb isn't in vision right now. It's got to be Ronski to try and find this. Spike recovered. Doesn't want to go for the aggression, though, if he makes the mistake. But Ronski, 8 frags already in just 3 rounds.
That's 2 4Ks. The pistol and that one just there didn't really do anything in the previous one because he did get taken out to that pistol in the very beginning. But anywho, Bliss to be able to shut down Order's first purchase on that little bonus round of their own really does set the stage here of what we might be able to see. Imagine, you know, Order. Split has been their map for how long now? But in doing so, right, teams don't play them against it. It feels like maybe they've had a little bit of, you know, just quietness, not enough practice on this map now that Bliss's play style is getting the better of them. And so far, we are seeing that.
Still early days. And Ronski moving around a whole lot at this point in time. Does have the Empress available, but same with the Resurrection. They got some time. Minutes 15 left on the clock to determine what they want to do. It still is Tux lurking over towards that A position. Ronski, though, getting aggressive. And once again, maybe a little bit too aggressive, but luckily Fleshist is there. However, the Resurrection is also... We do still have a little bit to work with, Dion, but at least it's back to a 4-on-4.
One dead.
Great peek from Easy.
Yeah, Sign's feet just sticking out a little bit there. Easy able to find that frag as easy as you like it. He has utilized all of his utility right now, though. So if Order did group up, there wouldn't be any way that Bliss could slow them down except for jungle wells, gravity well. That could pull them in. Maybe even the nano storms, technically. Lots of utility to still throw around if Bliss do still have it at bay. I'm actually just seeing there the jungle well didn't have any of the stars. So there's that gravity well that I mentioned. Order already in front of it. Can look to establish the plant, though. That was a little bit ambitious there from Tux low HP to peek over towards the spawn. Major fighting Autumn means it's just Dexter. 1 versus 4. Gets dink for it, but the biggest thing for Order, I guess, in that round, Mitch, is that they were at least able to get the plant, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But it is a relatively clean retake from Bliss. 4 members living on, keeping up the position where they can stack that economic amount. All of them with over and above 2.5k. Definitely a few more reinvestments available. Clearly getting into the crypto game as of late. But Order straight back in as well. Looking to dive deep into this map. 5th now. Bliss still unscathed relatively. But yeah, look, I suppose this is a very, very good start for Bliss. Order being at the slight disadvantage, I guess you'd say, on the attacking side rather. But that is going to be major fighting too early on with the showstopper. Great start to the round, and the paint shells might even sign some damage as well. Not quite.
This is a really good play to come out with Bliss as well. They've gone into it with a strategy. The barrier wall to going up, the slow orb a little bit later on, but to put the showstopper into good use, we saw Easy actually gathering up the orb there as well. So they already knew that they wanted to go in with that showstopper, and they are absolutely rewarded with finding those first 2 opening frags. You shut down an entry availability for Order. You know, the Empress is no longer there for Autumn. You've also taken out Texter on the Sage. So any slows, any walls you wanted to get going down right now, you can't do that. It is going to come down to really what frags can they find and what gaps can they find, and this is a huge gap that Sign is going to look to exploit. But however, he gets turned on by Fleshist, and this is just crumbling for Order right now. Easy looking to close it down. It's down to Disco, 5 HP in a 1 versus, well, technically 4. And there you go.
Well done. Another pretty clean round for Bliss. Great start from Major. Just realizing that he is 7-0 right now. But another investment from Order. Going to be picking up the rifles once more. Just the Spectre for Texter, however. And with the half shield, maybe thinking about something different going forward. But once again, it does look like Order are pretty convinced to head towards that A site. The utility thrown out from jungle so far, just leaving that gravity well in the position does sort of catch them here and there. Also good use of the Nebula as well. They do have the info now, but there is that gravity well once again. But this time they choose to creep on through. And they're going to be heading up against Ronski, who does have the Empress available, Dion. And there's one. Looking to make it a second. Can clear around now. Great avoidance of the showstopper. Ronski, I feel like this could be big here, but he's denied with 3. And now, with the Cosmic Divide down, Dion, it's back to a 2-on-2, technically in favor of Order.
Yeah, the plant's going to be put down now as well. It is on to Bliss to see if they can keep this game going flawless and find 6 on this defensive side. Anything more then will be a massive bonus as the Stars does get put down here on the side of Order. Autumn could technically move his way over into the defender spawn. Sitting in the Nano, however, they took a phenomenal amount of damage just then. Shots to come out.
Oh,
Boombot for 2. What is this? Order? They are just getting dismantled right now.
This is wild. I mean, look, I won't get ahead of myself. It's map 1. It's the first half. It's only been the first 6 rounds, but Order have not had any real presence whatsoever. I mean, that was close. Ronski obviously dismantled after finding 3, and you know that way Order were able to press towards the site with some good trades. But then Bliss back in. They sort of sat in the Nano Swarm of freshest, and Major with the double boombot, now 9-0.
I don't know about that one, Chief. That's a little bit weird to come out in the end of it. You know, they kind of sat in the Nano for a little bit. They had their own stars around, and it just felt like Order a bunch of headless chickens right now. But hopefully they want to just set themselves a little bit of a timeout. Maybe might be on Order as well. Have a bit of a discussion. Ronski is split in his duel in mid. He will eventually find something there, but situation approaches where you want to see the res come out. That's not going to be allowed to happen. Order, is this how they finally get the first round on the board? Bit of a thrifty.
All right. So Fleshes trying to move up. Does have to avoid it. Really, really low end HP here. He does manage to get away with 1 though. That's 3 now. Fleshes looking really, really clean in this round. Has to reposition in under hell. Jungle Wow is there for some support, but Fleshes is going to miss the timing. Doesn't quite find it. Jungle Wow in the 1-on-2. Very, very tight. But once again, Order take the test to Bliss. However, they are faltering. And 7-0. I never, ever, ever thought we'd be witnessing this, even though they are starting on the defensive side.
No, I didn't think we were going to be seeing this either, but I'm absolutely relishing this fact, right? Order, a team that has relatively been untouched since EXO left, or now Sonics, are having a little bit of a challenge presented to them. And granted, as you already mentioned, it is the first map in this grand final. You know, you look towards the cold factor. It is relatively chilly in Melbourne right now, especially where I am. So everybody wants to get warm on up. Also noted that Major did lose his first life in that round there too, Mitch. So he was looking very, very pretty in this game so far, but we maneuver on. As the lockdown is put here over at the B site, Ronski is going to have to fall back, and it looks like no destruction in that lockdown. We're going to see the explosion from Order.
They're taking their time, though. The good use of the utility from the Astra has held them back for sure. Major trying to get some damage through, but there is the barrier wall down. Ronski does manage to find another, has to try and reposition around. Questions to drop 1 more. Now Ronski actually getting a little bit overzealous though once more. Unfortunately, his skill is at times his demise. And now that's going to be the res, unfortunately punished. And here we go. Unless Jungle Wow pulls off something incredible, which we did see from him a number of times, it won't be. Does get dinked early on by Disco, taken down by Autumn, and Order pick up their first.
Pick up the first. I feel like, as you mentioned it, exactly the correct words to use there. Overzealous from Ronski. Wasn't even, you know, wanting to have his aim go toward the right side of that barrier wall or the pillar to see if anybody was there. Very narrow focused on toward the B main pick, and a very open res as well from Easy there onto Major. Very punishable by Order, and it just came out in the end. It feels like that round there from Bliss got a little bit too heated for them potentially. Maybe they got a little bit slack in their gathering of 7 rounds so far. They might think it's a little bit of an easy or a breezy map so far, but it has to be pulled on back to them. They have to make sure that they are just getting everything focused back on through. Order do manage to find 1 round, but Bliss, of course, the money situation that they saw themselves with, another purchase to come on through in this one. And the containment field around mid so far is allowing Order to slowly creep on up.
Complacency is the word, I think, and you're exactly right. You know, Order haven't actually had Split pulled on them many times these days. Obviously, in those best of threes, typically banned out against them, knowing how good they are. But maybe it's an opportunity now for some of these teams to sort of find it. And again, Bliss is looking good. But yeah, Vronsky, I feel like it's just the let me at him mentality, you know? And I feel like still with some work over time and some practice and maturity, he is going to be an incredible player. He's picked up the operator in this round as well, I noticed. Using the Reyna kit for the dismiss, similar to the Jet with the Tailwind. But it's a 5-on-5, they've relinquished the B site. And now in this position, it's going to be the lockdown, pushing in. Let's see if Bliss have what it takes to recover.
And that's going to push everybody in toward the main as well. There isn't any gaps here for Disco to be able to try and hold at the back of the site. He's just looking for any frags, and he can find, and he's managed to do 2. He will get detained, but the paint shells will buy a little bit of time for him as well. Looking to get aggressed upon. The Lear goes on out. They can pop nanos on amongst the site itself. There's one. There's the second one to start to come through for Bliss in this retake, but Autumn, he gets the job done in the end to close it down for Order.
There we go. That's the momentum I think they needed. They've broken the economy of Bliss now, and Order clearly have worked out what they need. You know, it's taken them a fair few rounds, but we knew it was coming, right? That's why I didn't want to call it too early. But they've still got a lot of work to do. Despite Bliss having to take a knee in this round, they are going to pick up a couple of shotguns. Tux's favorite weapon, of course. Favorite weapon not to play against. 3 judges, 4 judges, Jesus. Jungle Wow just saving onto the Ghost. And this time it looks like Tux is just going to try and pull that utility once more. But yeah, Vronsky, I feel like he's played every single different site so far.
Yeah, he's just being very unpredictable, which is a really big thing for Bliss, isn't it, though? If they don't know what's happening, or doesn't know what's happening, and then it just leads up to new opportunities to start to arise. The Judge right now, however, it's only going to be good for 1 from Precious. It does reveal the sort of purchase that Bliss are going through towards in this round. And for them to be able to force out the resurrection in this round as well, you'll take that one. Order situation where they might have, you know, a gun round is where you really want to get out those reses, but take it in this one, as I did say. Good shot to come on through just then. And Bliss just not going to see any more damage that they can come through with. Maybe they take a Vandal into the next round if they can, but this is looking to be the 3rd for Order here.
It's going to be a tough one to make work for Bliss. I think they look like to maybe just try and collect some exits on the way out. Walking into main now. And that's exactly what they're switched onto, but so's Tux. Look at him walking on through. Has the scent, knows that they're coming, finds a great shot. Jungle's still in astral form as well. Not going to be found though. Fortunately though, only with the Ghost, he should be going down. Order will collect. And now Vronsky, I think he just wants to die to the spike at this point. He will, there it is. Not long for this world, as Order pick up their 3rd in very, very convincing fashion.
Yeah, they survived with everybody in the end, bar the resurrection being utilized, as I said a little bit earlier on. It starts to see now that Order are getting on toward this board. If they can get up to, you know, your 5 runs on the attacker's side, that's usually what you would consider being a good thing though, right? We know how leaning Split is toward that defensive side. So to be able to see that Bliss started off with 7 unanswered, yeah, that's all well and truly good. But if Order are able to return in 5 unanswered ones and then establish a pistol round and a 2nd round in the next half, that means we're going to be onto a tied scoreline, definitely favoring over towards Order. As already said, defensive-sided map. For the early beginnings of this one, Order, they are going to go back forward the mid control. The barrier wall is used. Do we see them use their own to get over it?
Well, going back to the meta of this map, you know, a little while ago, we did see Riot try to change it slightly, switching up a little bit of the spacing, I guess you could say. Like B main, the entrance was made to be a little bit wider, trying to favor slightly more that attacking side. But still proves to be very, very difficult. Now with the Empress popped from Autumn, still looking to clear out that mid position. The barrier wall will be destroyed, but there's Vronsky, very aggressive through mid again. Major going to be caught off guard in and amongst the paint shells. I think Autumn's actually spotted out Vronsky, but great use of the gravity wells. Going to hold them back for a little while longer. Precious, back of the site. Vronsky has his own Empress popped as well. Must have a little while left and does miss that opening shot onto Texter. The Lear comes out. Still a 4-on-4. Big task for Bliss to try and hold this one.
Battle of the Empresses. Ronski wins out the duel against Autumn, can dismiss away as well, but choosing to reassess how he is going to be tackling out these angles. It's good shots to come out from Fueshus as now Ronski will look to close it down as well. A bit of a full house from Ronski and Fueshus there. And that was just pretty clean shots to come out from them, all things considered as well. Just really, you know, tapping out on those Vandals, finding those frags. Order stuck in amongst the heavens, stuck in toward B main. We saw Ronski, he pushed through towards the garage as well in the beginning to find the first pick on toward Disco. So it feels like that aggression from Bliss is worth a treat there.
Absolutely. 17-7 for Ronski and Dion. That team synergy between him and Fueshus just sort of dancing around the back of the B site, not allowing any of the aggression to come through. Ronski taking down Texter, who was inside B main, and yeah, just very, very cleanly done. But now Autumn with the operator too, getting an opening pick here. We do see him obviously picking up on the Jet, but doing it on the Reyna and finding a second as well. Ronski now has to try find something back. Who is going to win the battle of the Reynas here? Rifle versus Operator.
Well, we see that angle that Autumn found Jungle Wow in the beginning from. Jungle's been playing that time and time again, the same angle. So it's a little bit predictable on that front where Autumn is able to find the frag very nicely. He dances back onto another one toward the rafters. But now we are equalized as Fueshus the Statues of signed. It means that we don't have any of the Astra smokes from both of the teams. It's all going to be coming down to these dry angles in what you're going to be able to find. I'm unsure if Texter still does have that barrier wall. Could look to put that down towards an area to at least force Bliss back at one angle, but Autumn, he manages to find Ronski in the end. This Operator, 3 frags so far. You could technically call him for the ace, but Disco, he will be able to eliminate Major, and now it is all on to Fueshus.
Spike planted.
1 versus 3. Again, winnable. We've seen this happen time and time again. But Autumn is holding that line. It's going to be hard to swing on with the rifle, but he does miss the shot. Now Fueshus wants to pick up the pace a little bit. Autumn still holding that one. Nice little off angle, but the shoulder peek is there. So he's done well to sort of, you know, pace it nicely, but he's not going to be able to find the shot. Fueshus looking sharp today, but Texter just a little bit sharper in this round, and nicely done. And that's the half as quickly as it came. 8-4 in favor of Bliss. But now this is where Order really need to put down the pressure. Obviously, if they pick up this pistol round, they can well and truly start to climb their way back into the car. But yeah, man, look, it's not something that we put past Order at all. This is going to be the challenging territory for Bliss to see how they are in an aggressive manner.
We'll strap those seatbelts on, Mitch, because we're in for a huge ride. This is only the halftime point of map number 1 in our best of 5 grand final here. It could go the distance if Bliss keep giving us a right ball challenge like they are so far. And Order, now on the flip side, over to the more stronger side of this map, usually. We'll see if they are going to be able to gather up the pistol. But Bliss, they are starting to align up for a big mid explosion. Although they do slow the pace themselves, creeping on through with those shift walks. Now they decide to get their roggening shoes on. And they're going to see if they can jog over towards the location of B, where Disco is perched up on this box. He's going to be forced on back. And Stein, he loses his life very freely.
Yeah, Ronski at least does find the opening, but Texter's good for some damage. Same with Disco. Finding ball back. Jungle, great shot, but look at Tux on this flank. Now it's all on a Major. 19 points of HP. The spike is up on the rafters, and it's going to be Disco to deny. Another round found by Order. They have certainly woken up right now. Looking very, very good. That was almost clean, you know, only losing the 2 members. But yeah, it's the opportunity that Bliss don't want to give up.
No, 100%. They're going to have to take a knee in this one, however, and play for their rifles in the next round, which will be the first big round for them on the attackers' side. A situation like this for Order, you really just want to see them be able to pick it up very cleanly, not have to reinvest anything, because on the flip side, you know, we saw the bonus round be won out by Bliss. We saw them force Order into submission for 7 rounds in a row. And they were able to pick up their 8th one a little bit later on. But for right now, Bliss, they are going to be looking to farm up anything they can, gather that ulti orb. If they get any kills, that'll give a bit of a tick over towards your ultimate status as well, a death at 2, to see how fast they can farm up their ults. And if you're looking towards anyone here, it'd probably be Ronski, right? If he can keep refreshing the Empress, that would be very well received for Bliss.
Only with that Sheriff, though, 45 points of HP left. Wall still in play. Will be starting to break shortly, and I think that's when Bliss might want to start to pick up the pace a little bit, but they're going to head into sewers. So it looks like they're in for the long haul here. Does appear that Order are going to try and take this mid position once more as the members actually start to come back. I think Mage has waited for that one very, very patiently too. Creeping in up through mid, maybe splitting into the vents, but it is a very disconnected take at this point in time. And it looks like Order haven't been shaken at all, but oh, okay. Sign gets caught. At least one found, but Autumn's there, and so is Disco. Last two members inside mid. Spike is dropped. Round done. Basically, 20 seconds.
Yeah, only dropping one player here for Order should be all well and good. They'll be able to take over one of the pistols potentially for Order. You know, if there was any upgrades, you just kind of take a bow in the next round against Bliss's rifles to see what you can do a little bit later on. Though the shots out from Major Tux caught looking the wrong way. It will get traded out in the end. So it is the pistol and the second round in this half picked up by Order, Mitch. But I really want to know right now, will we see a bit of a mirror from the first half? Is this where we're just going to see Order keep running in with rounds?
Yeah, exactly. It's their chance to do so, but they've got to get through the bonus first, of course. We are going to see the full purchase come in from Bliss. Major will be picking up one of those rifles in just a second. There we go, opting for the Phantom. The rest of the members with the Vandals. Fweshus and Ronsky looking very, very sharp as it starts as well. Jungle also. But now creeping, letting Ronsky try and feel out towards this A location. Damaging the wall up. Not going to destroy it as of yet, however. So it looks like a relatively slow start to the default. Not any real map control taken by Bliss as of yet. Just waiting to see if any aggression comes out towards A. They've got two members waiting. Disco up inside Heaven, signed. Holding from under the rafters. And he does have another star to go down as well. So that gravity well inside the push towards A could be the factor that sort of slows him down a little bit. Great opening pick, though, from Ronsky.
There's the open. As you say it, they have to be very careful of signs here with the judge, though. He's able to find through the little vulnerability. The third as well. Usage of the gravity well. Absolutely superb. Now Autumn is going to streamline in for one, and it's all down to Jungle looking to see that this bonus round goes over towards Order. We've seen absolute brutality from Jungle Wow, though, before. He was on that Viper, this time on the Astra, and he will get sit down as well. Order, they find the bonus.
Oof, all right. We saw it coming, though, right? Like, it was almost like it was written up for us with Signed and that judge. Able to find 3 nice kills in and amongst the vulnerability created by the gravity well. And, yeah, just back to the Sheriffs. Seeing that they will return to the Wild Wild West. Major opting for the Frenzy. But, once again, Order, they've looked really, really stable from here. This is why we could never call a map like this so early. And despite Bliss ending the half 8-4... they've still yet to find a round on this attacking side at half. But we do have another opportunity for a full buy after this round.
And Order, they are going to be looking to equalize here. Autumn is going to be able to find Ronsky. So making sure that they don't really feel any damage. Over here will come through just in that little front, though. Jungle Wow's head has been seen. Disco, yeah, he's going to ping it as well. He knows what's up. He knows what's happening. He's got a little bit of information, though. Just see it toy with it. I don't know if you could see any of the little movements. Of course, we get those X-rays. We can sort of see what's happening. He will jump over. Just got to find it. Easy to steal one back, though. First frag for Bliss. Seeing what they can do with these Sheriffs. But I mean, at the end of the day, Mitch, as you did say, this is just a round of whatever it is for Bliss. Just see what they can do. They will have their proper rifles in the next one.
One enemy remaining.
Absolutely. Nice and clean. Only losing the one here, so Order, they tie it back up. 8-8. Unscathed as well. Autumn now taking the lead ahead of Ronsky, who has had a much, much slower start here. And the interesting thing that we're seeing is this operator on the Reyna to come out. So, I mean, clearly it's still well and truly viable. Again, using the dismiss to sort of, you know, escape from the lines after you do find the initial shots. And he's going to go for the early A site peek. Is he going to be able to find anything early? He will, even through the Nebula. Autumn with a great opener, Major good for the trade, though. Will be able to get out and hopefully find a heal. As Easy does get moving. And obviously they've got the Resurrection available as well, Dion. So this now can be a 5-on-4 assault.
And Major's one away from that ultimate in the showstopper too. So if they do regress over towards this location, maybe even after finding Texter, they'll be able to get out that rocket and they can push quite nicely in toward the site of A. There comes out that res. Ronsky is back, but they have to make sure they clear this corner. They're not even aware of it. Texter, he's able to find Ronsky. The Nebula now to obscure some vision. Boombot going on through, does get destroyed as Texter. He does get shut down. So the rocket's here for Major, but look at it. His HP's back down to where it was when he was healed up earlier. The rocket though finds Autumn somehow. I thought it was going to miss there. And now it's a 4 versus 2 situation. Signed at the single box.
Look at the call.
Tucked in the grave.
Oh my word! If he finds this as well, on the side, the ace, the impact, he moves into heaven.
Those rafters.
Sign. Yeah, he could. Look at the timing though. Sign pushing on up. He has dropped, but he's now just waiting to see if he can find that cross. There is the opportunity here. He's been healed too, but he does head towards CT. It's not going to matter. Regardless, the round has had the impact thrown by, of course, Major, who was looking very, very good on that race today, as he does is usual. But Signed, yeah, not really much he could do. Just hope to potentially save that Vandal over to the next round. Order's going to have the money to reinvest. But it will be Bliss not allowing the lead to be taken by Order in what was a pretty chaotic, like, tit for tat in the A position.
I'm surprised that Signed isn't going for any more exit frags here. Bliss investing everything in this round, making sure that they would be, forced to repurchase in the next one, because you know that they've used a lot of their abilities stretched around it as well. They would have had to get in, all those abilities again, the Vandal and the armor or the Phantom. But I guess at the end of the day, 4 alive there for Bliss. A bit of a different scenario. If there was, 2 or 3, maybe you would see going in for a little bit of that damage. But as you do mention, Bliss, they don't see Order gaining the lead just yet. They will hold on to it. They get their first round of this attacker side, and you really want to see them be able to back it up with another one. Hey, you really want to see them push Order to really fight for this map.
Try not to make sounds. Waiting patiently. Still wanting to creep over towards this B location, but again, I feel like Ronsky holding on to that area. No one pushing towards A. It's just pretty much Tux and Signed holding that site. I mean, look at all the utility down on A. It's going to be so hard to break through. Autumn in a very good position to open. We'll be able to get the dismiss out as well. Does have his Lear available. Gravity Well to sort of force him back a little bit, but Major creeping on in now to the vents. Ronsky going to be joining him. It is still going to be very hard to clear out backside.
At least they do have a bit of a crunch coming on through. They know that the alarm bot's there. Autumn, though, might be able to undermine what Bliss are looking to do, and it's only a good bit of damage as Ronsky shuts down the Empress of Autumn. That crown has taken off his head, and now as we look for that extension play from Bliss in toward this A site, it's going to have to be the Order boys putting on their big old boots to set in stone. Tux gets taken down. Now Sign follows in quick pursuit as well. Finally, Texter will end back.
Spike.
Dropping the spike. There's only 10 seconds. Texter, he might have just done everything he needed through the rocket. It's taken out Fleshes, but Disco, he takes... Wait. Oh, he died during the rocket.
Just.
Oh, okay.
That's
Kill
tight.
feed was backwards.
That was very, very tight, yeah. It's funny, how many times has that happened in this game where you're not really sure exactly what the result is? But
too many.
It means that Bliss have taken a 10th. But with that being said, despite the weakened financial position, I mean, look, Sign has got plenty of money, but he's not going to fully invest. It looks like the boys are pretty happy to just pick up those judges. They are very, very punishing on a map like this with all those close quarters, but still Bliss. Man, if they were to take the opening map pick here on Split, anything could happen during this series.
100%. You could chalk it up to a little bit of the cold play for Order, or the fact that they don't really get put on towards Split a lot, that they are just a little bit, cold on the map, forgetful on some certain plays, but We know what caliber of a team Order is. That's a big dink from Tux early on. Of course, Major's going to get healed up quite instantly. A lockdown through for Bliss. They're going to be trying to force Order back. Remember last time we saw them stick around to be able to find all that damage. Specifically, it was Disco. With those paint shells as well to buy a little bit of time. Detain will come through. Slow Orb as they will try to get on through as well. They want to try and get the plant down. But if you're looking at a 5 versus 5 retake here, this is going to get chaotic.
Good use of those paint shells. Jungle will be able to remain alive. Does he use that Cosmic Divide? We'll have to see. I don't actually think that has come out from him as of yet in this map. Disco jumping through, down in towards Hell now, trying to get some damage dealt. The gravity well. It's going to put Jungle into an awkward situation, but Major opens up with one. Texter rather, looking to get that res, but it's Major. 1, 2, and 3. Order still at the disadvantage. Disco able to equalize now, finding it into 2, but that's Ronsky moving on in. Flashes into the 1 on 2. He finds 1, but signed up in heaven. That should very well be the round. Yes, there's enough time. Order finding their 9th. It is tight, but at least it is done. And they close the gap once more, but it is all the way down to the wire here. Signed had to get that Cosmic Divide down as well.
Talk about chaotic situations here, Mitch. 5 versus 5 scenarios are always hard to follow. Got to give a big shout out to Crash on that one to be able to try and do everything that he could to be able to bring us all of the good old action. I'm actually just looking at this scoreboard as well, right? We got Easy and Tux not really being seen too much on that kill department. You look up toward the Astros in Jungle and Signed, getting in what they can as well. I've actually just noted though that Easy is on 12 assists, so that is pretty big on that front. Regardless, it's Autumn, Ronsky, leading out the charge, as you want to see from your big old duelist entry fraggers. Multiple shooter frags coming through. Both boombots out, however, for an exchange. Autumn on a Major. Ronsky gets that trade.
Texter walking on in, looking for the contest. I suppose that's the difference between Easy and Texter right now, you know? Sure, Easy's played a bit more of a passive route, trying to make sure he's got his utility for the rest of the team to support them in, but Texter says, nah, Battle Sage, going in. And he will be rewarded, taking down the star fragger of Bliss in Ronsky. A little while away from that resurrection as well, so that won't be effective into this round. Similar could be said, though, for Texter. He's already back around towards this position, but here we go. Easy. Okay, pick it up. Does find it. Now, with Heaven walled off, it is only Tux to try and lock this one down. But in the end, they're actually going to start to run away with it. Disco, the rotate is there, but now it is on the tech. It's on the Tux. Does get tagged up, and that should be him going down midair. It will. And now, in a 3 versus 5, this was Dion. It's now a 1-on-3 in favor of Signed.
Yeah, really good resilience for Bliss to be able to make light of a sticky situation and look to bring something back. They even have the Cosmic Divide for the next round. They don't need to use it in this one because it is only Signed alive. He does have the benefit of 5 stars to be able to utilize, 4 of which already used in the round. So he should be utilizing them on toward the floor, blocking the vision of the Nebula there. Could use the Gravity Well and the Nova Pulse at the same time as well. See if he can make this a little bit easier, but the time is ticking very, very far. Shouldering out the corners, he'll get seen for the rafters. It's Easy, will find him for a 3K on the board. Look at that resilience though, Mitch, in that round from Bliss. That was amazing.
Super clean, and the fact is they managed to throw off Tux so hard, you know, up on the rafters. There was an opportunity in a world where he won that round, but it is just not today. Now Easy has found his way truly back into this matchup. Major does have the showstopper available. It is only the lockdown for Tux. It's funny, I just keep getting Tux and Texter winded up tonight. Tuxter.
Tuxter.
But nah, man, Bliss only 2 rounds from success. And Autumn has to get up close and personal here. Are they going to contest for him? Did they actually hear that tag? Potentially. Maybe not.
Oh.
Paint Shell's going to make it a little bit awkward, closing the gap. But as soon as that Nebula goes down, Ronsky, he's ready. Ready for the timing, but that's going to force him out. The Gravity Well puts him into an awkward situation. And Ronsky caught off guard again.
The Nebula, it faded away as he was trying to escape. Really unfortunate scenario at that one. The rocket gets brought out from Major. He saw a second player as well, but low in HP. Knows he has to fall on back. Signed on this Sheriff. It's high noon now for him as he dispatches the Fleshes. Order, they are starting to get things known throughout this server on this little save half by of them. 4 versus 4 though, as Easy utilizes that resurrection to get him in. I want to see this slow down here from Bliss. The full rotation has been made from Order over to this A site. And Bliss, they do have that Cosmic Divide as well. might be on them to be able to utilize it. As Jungle Wow, he doesn't actually have any stars now, Mitch.
What
I
role
lied.
did Signed play in Overwatch, by the way? Do we know? Was it DPS?
I think it was tank.
That would have been
I think it was tank.
Okay. I was going to say, if it was DPS, that would have been such a good reference there, but regardless, still, Overwatch. Cosmic Divide goes down over towards that B location, but it seems that they've actually sniffed it out here as they are in for the rotate. Signed, unfortunately, able to connect with the damage. They are looking to get this spike planted now.
Nice,
Major, though, in with 3. That is various multi-frags that he's connected with, and that paint shell dunks, but he gets the wrong timing. Now Disco can start to move in. Tux only with the Spectre. It's going to be a very, very tough bit of movement back into this.
Jungle behind this wall will be able to get healed up. That wall is actually going to be clutch here for Bliss as well. It really does maneuver order around the site, almost funneling them in toward the elbow. Breaking of the wall, however, Ronski, he finds one, but Disco, 5 HP, rockets out. Wrong location, my friend. Still gets the headshot for the 4K on 5 HP. There's enough time as well. Order have 10.
Take a bow, my friend Disco, because you are the man of the hour right now. That was insane. 1 versus 4 effectively. 5 points of HP. And he pulls that off. That was going to be Bliss's 12th Theon, and it's been denied.
Full rounds regulation we could actually be seeing here, maybe even an overtime if Bliss are able to establish one more and in order bring it in toward the 12th. We'll of course have to wait and see how the beginning stages of this one are going to turn out, as Ronski sits in the grenades. Probably wasn't expecting them to spread like that. He cannot get revived either, so he being down for the count very early on actually does really kind of tip the scales in this round over towards Order, and not slightly so either. You know, that's the big entry. That's Ronski down.
Yeah, well, it's surprising. Looking at the purchases, obviously, it's not like he's just, you know, losing out a Sheriff in a Sheriff round. It's the rest of his team actually does have all the equipment needed. Autumn, though, with the Empress popped, playing an aggressive line up inside A Heaven, B Heaven. But now the Empress does go down. Oh, there we go, the gravity well. It's going to make it a little bit challenging for him. And that's back to an even stature. 4-on-4 Texter, though, can get the wall down. They are going to choose to destroy it nice and quickly, but the slow orb is there as well. Texas utility usage keeping them at bay.
Really good util from Texture there. Bought 20 seconds of time, essentially, as Easy's head does get revealed. Major goes in toward the site. He somehow wins the duel against Texter. He's getting healed up now as well. Really good usage of abilities in this round so far from both sides. 2 versus 2. Plant looking to go down. The paint shells go to the wrong location from Disco. And Jungle, will he choose to stay on the rafters or play around Heaven? Has a star to be able to still play with. Stars down, though, from the other side inside. As he uses the cosmic, the gravity well, sorry. He will not get Nova Pulse out. And Bliss, okay. They actually hang on to that one. Too many names of that gravity well, cosmic divide, all that stuff from Astra.
Nova Pulse.
Give me one word names, please.
Inside inside the gravity well, if it does take them like the full way, that's when it makes them vulnerable, right? And the pulse is the concussion.
If you're in it when it pops. If you're in it when it pops.
Yeah, rightio. Okay. Because that's how Signed obviously got all that damage dealt in that judge round earlier on. But okay, Dion, I think we're sort of losing focus on what is actually happening in front of us right now. This is Bliss on map point of match number 1 in this best of 5 grand final. With a firm opportunity for them to take it. Order at a weakened economy. Now they're going to start to pick up the pace out towards B. Dion, do they have what it takes, or are they going to hold off for a minute?
Well, we have to wait and see what is going to happen. Of course, the lockdown is thrown on through as Bliss tries to get in toward the site. They have to clear the back of the site as well, which they will be afforded to do so. In these slow orbs from both sides, we are going to see Texter and Tux now, the dynamic duo, able to start things off. You talk about crossing your eyes. and dotting your T's in the other order. The T's have certainly been crossed in this one. Signed with a classic Autumn. Now it's all in jungle, and he does lose his life in the end. Mitch order. They hang on. They force us to the full rounds of regulation here. But whether or not we're going to go into overtime or we're going to see victory for Bliss, this is the round that we will be seeing it in.
Dude, who even cares at this point, man? My God. This game has already had it all early in the series. Exactly what you'd be hoping for in a best of 5. It was funny, right? You know, we were talking about it because obviously context gives such a big element to casting, how much excitement there is, you know, depending on what the players are actually contesting for. But yesterday, that game between Bliss and Wildcard, despite only just being 4 seeding, you know, in the end for Bliss, there was a storyline behind it, and it made it so exciting. And that's what I think really is the biggest element of this one. Bliss, after absolutely duking it out through the gauntlet in the lower bracket, they bring it all the way up. And man, it's such a crazy contest that it just brings so much extra excitement here. But oh, Major somehow able to live on. But oh, here we go. That could be the damage that they're looking for. Jungle
found Sign.
He's found Sign as well. Yes. And now that could be the pull towards the A location. Ronski is already there. Texter moving on in. He is a long way away from the resurrection, though. This is do or die now for Bliss and Order.
Yeah, seeing farewell to the Sage of Bliss here as well does mean that there's no heals available. Ronski, he's clearing so much. If he doesn't get seen from the side as well, he could actually sleuth his way in toward the defender spawn and attack this site from another angle. Autumn, though, we know how powerful he can be. As he just peeks his head at the right time, he might be able to be on for a multitude of frags to keep him in the round. There's one that is missed away. It's onto Ronski now as well. Ronski, he's pushing in through the heavens. As Disco is in heaven too. He's looking the wrong way. Oh no, Ronski! That could have been the round-defining frag if he was able to get it. But now that Tector comes on through, Autumn punishes Fleshes. We are, in fact, going to overtime.
Overtime it is on map number 1. Definitely the excitement that we deserve in a map like this. Split. And it's been chaotic, man. Already some really crazy things, and it's namely been the Rainers and the Razors. Funnily enough, Major has actually overtaken Ronski, who did have almost 20 frags in the opening defending side. And now he gets another opportunity to actually get the job done. Autumn with 30 as well in regulation. This is insanity.
Oh, we're going to take a little bit of a breather, because I'm sure that that's what everybody would be doing in the server right now. I'm just noticing too, Autumn, Mitch, 30 frags, mate. Absolutely insane. As Major as well, he's actually caught up to Ronski, because Ronski's had a little bit of a slowing on down. But we, as I said, take that breather back into it. Overtime, 2 rounds to be able to find one on each side, and we'll see who the victor's going to be. I actually do kind of wonder how many overtimes we're going to have happen. I don't know if we're going to have just one. Ronski back in toward the vents. Not peeking out too early. He's been punished before it, even by classics before.
Oh, trying to tap away. Flesh just going very low here. Needs a bit of assistance from Easy. Might be able to get that heal up now. Looks like it will go out. Just waiting patiently. Autumn gets that Leer through, allowing Tux to go for the clear, but Jungle, he's going to choose to fall away now. Rotation in towards screens. It does appear still from the start they might be happy to make a little bit of an aggression play towards the B location. And creeping on out now, Fleshist ready, does find the opening shot.
Big opener. Look who he's taken down as well right now. That's Disco. And it's going to send Order Streamline. They're beelining it over towards the A site. It's all going to be down to Jungle Wow as well to see what he's going to be able to do. Though you look at the Rainer in this one. Autumn takes out Ronski. Bit of diff there. Tux has managed to find his way in. He might be on for the decapitation of Major as well. He's have no idea what's happening right now. 15 seconds. They've got to get the plant down. If you're Jungle, you have to find your frags here. You have to plant your feet. But what does he do? There's one. Can he formulate the second? Look where the plant's going down, though. Before heaven, because of what Tux did earlier, he planted it there. And Bliss, 2 players going into it. It's equal, 2-2.
Okay. Crashes on. Easy. Not quite going to be able to find the shot. Texter will look to take him down. Both members over towards the side. It's going to be on Fueshis. See what he can do here. Going for the swing. He will be able to take down Texter. All onto just this 1v1. Sign looking to creep around. He's still got bullets available, but it will be Sign to lock it down and Order take the lead for one of the first times in this map, bringing it in 13-12 in overtime. One more opportunity for Bliss.
That is the first time that they've taken the lead in this game as well, and it's all the way over into overtime. That is sensational. You talk about the statistic on that from Bliss there, always holding the lead, but just unfortunately enough, aren't able to close it in the end. Some individual prowess that have come through from Order to keep them in it. You look at the sensational plays from Autumn, you look at Disco's clutches as well. They are exactly doing what they need to, and in this time of, I don't even know what you would call this time right now, heated moment, Order looking to find grand final victory here, being really unanswered since EXO left towards NA, and wanting to find map number 1 in split here. Text up, he'll get forced back, uses the heal for 10 damage. Minute 10 on the clock, Conky, and everyone alive is good to see.
Great line from Disco, as is usual. Holding this one in the vents. Always makes it challenging. Actually walled off Major, trying to give a false sense of security here. Inside that position, 55 seconds left. Disco, he's going to start to look for the creep on up, but he doesn't want to over-aggress. Not going to be fooled by anything here. Major, if he goes to look for this, now walking in towards Heaven is Ronsky. Both these teams playing it very, very wise, but look at this angle from Autumn Dion. Oh, man. It's going to be a face-off. Does he jump?
If
Does he
Ronsky
look?
leaves,
Does he creep? Oh, there's just so much happening. There we go. There's the opener. There it is. So smart from Disco and Autumn. They are the superiors here. Now it's on to Fueshis, but he does get taken down. And it looks like this is going to be all she wrote in map number 1. Easy does at least collect onto another frag here, but Autumn is holding that line. He is taken down. It's all onto Jungle Wow. And there is Signed to close it. It is going to be Order to fight their way back all the way from that round deficit and take their map pick of split 14-12.
bit of double diff in that one as well. You know, Disco finding the opener, Autumn following in pursuit as well. It was really slow paced round to come out from them. You know, you look on the flip side, Bliss trying to take that one methodically in approach, and it kind of just does get underpicked from them a little bit too slow, a little bit too spread out potentially in the end there. No trades possible, but for Order to be able to play that one in the end where they needed to, you know, the resilience from them to be able to keep on coming back from behind. You know, Bliss, they were able to get out of the gates absolutely flying in the beginning. 7-0 unanswered, absolutely. 8-4 at the half. Order, though, really well placed out from them to be able to take the victory in the end. I guess as expected, but what a first map for this grand final.
Well, I just want to give a massive shout in that one to obviously both Autumn and Disco. The fact is, Autumn, you know, managing to get, 35, I think it was in the end, just super consistent with the multi-frags on that Reyna. And then, of course, that absolutely absurd 1v4 with the ace to come out from Disco. That was just insane. So anyway, we've seen an explosive map number 1 in this grand final. Guys, don't go anywhere. Bind between Order and Bliss is just around the corner.
I just time traveled. Today's a big day for past me. He just got the latest Vodafone broadband with super Wi-Fi. Which finally means Wi-Fi in all 4 corners of the house. What? Even there? I've got Wi-Fi in the garage. Yeah, we do. See ya.
Oh, it's still in the garage.
Yeah. Super Wi-Fi. Wall-to-wall Wi-Fi guaranteed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have returned again for what will be now the second map in your grand final for the second stage, close qualifier number 1 for the 2021 VALORANT Oceania Tour. Of course, this is stage 2 of 3 before we do determine who is going to be going to those regional finals and then ultimately making their way up to those OCE and NA last chance qualifiers for the big boy, of course, the VALORANT champions in December of the end of this year. Again, my name is Mitch Conky Cannon, alongside me, Dion Komodo Parada. Dion, Order versus Bliss, map number 2, but map number 1, man, that was exciting. Overtime, 14-12.
Yeah, out of the gates, you know, as we already said it, Bliss got off flying 7-0 unanswered, 8-4 at the half, looking like they were going to be able to even maybe close it out in a pretty decent fashion. But then, of course, the exchange of the sides, Order, they were able to claim that next pistol, and they won the bonus round as well and started to really bring it back. But they never took a lead in the game, not until overtime, where they found both of those ones in a single round of overtime to claim out the victory. And I mean, if everybody isn't warm in the server right now, then I don't know what's happening on their front, because all of those rounds that were played out, as heated as they were, they have to be warm going into bind.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like it was just the experience from Order in the end to not be faltered by that 8-4 half. Obviously, it started off 7-0, but we see it from Order time and time again, right? They work out the mechanics of how the enemy team is playing, and then they're able to adapt to it accordingly. It was just that round perfection, right? You know, watching Disco and Autumn manage to absolutely time the hell out of Major and Ronsky to be able to defend that A-sided position. And then, you know, even just the experience from Texter, Tux, Signed, being able to just patiently wait for them to allow the aggression to come to them and ultimately keeping them out. Bind, it's a similar map to Split. It's a very challenging attacking-sided map, and given the way that Order have played so far, but with that being said, do they pull out the sky? It's something we saw them struggle against Wildcard with yesterday, obviously in that opening best of 3. Any comments, any thoughts?
Look, if I'm looking at this and on the back of the interview that we've had with Tux, not so much as Texter, where they touched upon what this means to them, that it is a round of seeding and everything, they could technically pull out whatever they want going into these maps, right? If they take a lesser seed, it is what it is for them. They'll still be really confident in the fact that they'll be able to run it in the next stage of the area and accumulate 100 points, you know, try to find that grand final again like they did last time in the first area. So if they wanted to, they could technically use this as a little bit of practice again. You know, they have slapped Bliss around a little bit, right? Wildcard, definitely a different team toward Bliss. And on the statistics, Order might feel like they have a little bit more pressure against a team like Wildcard as opposed to Bliss. But for that mindset, it could have just been thrown out of it right now as well because of the first map scoreline. So I would kind of like to see the Breach Sky come back. I would like to see them work on it from what kind of went wrong yesterday, not going in with those flashes, for instance, over at Long B. But let's wait and see, Mitch, if we are going to have that happen, because we do. Now, get into map number 2 between these guys. It is Bind.
Absolutely, Bind. It is time to make our way into the second map of the series. Will we see Order bring out the new stuff and try to work around it? But that's the thing though, right? There is a little bit of a break between close qualifiers 1 and 2. The teams that are, you know, successful here, obviously they've got a little bit of a break. They've got a little bit of rest before they do move into the playoff stage of this stage 2 competition. So, man, why not just go balls to the wall right now? See how hard you can go and take away this victory. So here it is, the Bliss and Order, Bind. And a little carton of milk and banana in the background. Thanks, Crash.
Milk and banana. I want to know, though, I know that some maps have skim milk around it, or light milk, or whatever they call it. Full cream is where it's at. I can't do skim. Full cream. Kind of coconut either. My sister likes that. Anyways, we're in toward it. Mitch, the sky is present here for Tux, and he's already found the first frag going into this very hasteful approach in toward the A site. Updraft from Autumn as he dispatches of making a second one onto Jungle there. Actually, something to note, Jungle Whales brought out the breach coming on toward this one. As Order, they do in fact claim a pretty convincing pistol round.
Yeah, Fleshes has got the sky as well. So is this an absolute mirror matchup that I'm seeing again? It is. Okay, it looks like Bliss has apparently been reviewing some Order demos. We do know that Fleshes has been taking out the sky in the past, though, and obviously, you know, Ronsky on that jet, something we're not shying away from. But yeah, Jungle Wow swapping the Astra over to Easy this time. So both teams negating the Sova. So yeah, look, a lot of changes around here, but clearly there's some tact into it. I've not casted Bliss for a little while on Bind, so this is something that I'm looking forward to right now. But yeah, man, exciting times.
Yesterday, yesterday Bliss wildcard was on binds just when we're in this sort of second round right now. We'll get back to it in just a little second as Autumn's able to find one and Texas 2, make it a third one there. It should be a clean round. We saw Bliss take on wildcard yesterday, 13-7 to get them back into this grand final.
Oh yeah,
right?
of course.
So it was
course,
Ronsky
right.
on the Reyna, Major on the Raze, Jungle on the Astra, Precious on the Cypher, and Easy on the Sova. I actually do wonder, why have they mirror matched order in this one? Is it BM? Is it just because they know it's seeding, they're happy to have been in this grand final? Do they not want to reveal anything big going into the next stage? Do they want to try something new here? It could be anything.
It even could be something that they've been hiding to get it out into the grand final. You know, pulling out all the stops against a team like Order that they do say is their kryptonite. So Order do start off nice and clean. They are on the attacking side, obviously the more challenging. That is the lay of the land. You know, Order pick up their 2 maps that they're very, very confident in. And yeah, Icebox obviously just around the corner. At the very, very least, we will be seeing Icebox. But look, there is still plenty of things that could occur over the coming maps. Trailblazer out from Tux, going to try and clear out showers. Nothing spotted except until the end. But they will find Easy. Guiding Light, not going to quite blind. The Gravity Well is going to force him into an awkward situation as well. And there it is, Guiding Light again. That's the information gathered. Now they're going to start to absolutely charge out to on this site with Tux finding the opener.
Enemy kill.
Finding the opener, Ronsky is able to answer with 1 back in return. Smokes are now down for Order in this bonus round, but they are getting it done. Evidently so, 2-player advantage for them, looking to turn into a 3, as it does be brought on back by Jungle. He has to be able to clutch out a 1 versus 3. The aftershock to his location forces him out of those vents and up toward the heavens with an aftershock of his own. Fault line 25 seconds away. He's just going to see what he can do to back himself going in toward it. Aftershock actually at the right location, but they know that they are pretty free in going out of the U-hole there, and Tuck swings on through for the bonus to be picked up by Order.
Yeah, very, like, simple, I guess you could say, from Order as well. That one didn't look too challenging at all. And I think Tux is nearing on what he actually did have with those frags when they did lose it to Wildcard only yesterday. So, good start from him on the Sky. We've already heard plenty of those guiding lights be sent out and around. But the opportunity here, again, to continue their streak. Bliss down to only the Sheriffs.
Well, the fault line straight on through is going to tickle the fancy of Tux, with the judge being put down through toward the showers as well. There will be information from this Hawk going through from Tux, blinded. Those interesting things, isn't it? The difference between Sova, of course, that you'd usually see Sky replace on towards is the darts reveal actual positions. The blinded, just that there is somebody there. It's the Trailblazer, though, to finalize that information, as it is the first thing to get things started in this round. Major down.
Paint Shells to keep at bay. Does have the overgrowth available, but of course it's not him that is the one that can be healed. Starting to rotate back out now. Happy with their victory over towards this location, because look at the information gathered by Autumn over towards that B side. It's a full stack from Bliss. And Fleshes might gather some information in just a second. The guiding light to come out from him. They're actually going to continue to aggress towards this side. And no! Fleshes missing everything. Texter can pick up 2 now. Jungle has to try and move in. Disco to deny. He actually did manage to take down Tux in the process, but it's all on Aronsky in a 1-on-4, and he is a long way from this spike.
30 seconds left.
It's going to be hard, that is for sure, and it's going to be non-existent now, as Autumn is quick on the trot to be able to find that frag. Orta, it's like they might be a little bit annoyed from the previous match here. Mitch off to a flying start on this map here. Bind, you know, usually attacker side can be a little bit strugglesome in the beginning, but they've made it look pretty decent. All things considered, you know, we do have another rifle round to come back from Bliss in this one, but Ronsky on the judge. Where's he positioned right now? U-Haul. That's expected.
So how are they going to change up this contest? It looks like Major's actually going to get his way out immediately. Great use of the Gravity Well and the Nova Pulse, but unfortunately for Bliss, nobody's home, mate. Now they're heading straight in towards this U-Haul position. Ronsky can't quite find it. Great opening from Autumn, but he did take a lot of damage in the process. Disco's already up and over, but nobody's there either. Jumping inside the Cosmic Divide and the Nebula. Great pick from Texter. This is so clean from Order right now. Barely being thrown apart at all. Great shot from Easy. But still, so much more work that they need to do. The Cosmic Divide still got another 10 seconds. Gonna be a hard retake.
Yeah, the Seekers are going to come through from Bliss as well as the Cosmic Divide does fade away. Easy is going to get sucked in toward this gravity well. The Nova Pulse as well does tackle Fleshes, so he is quite disoriented at the current time, and rightly so. It's all going to be on Jungle, who's found 2 in the round. Rolling Thunder onto Tux as he dodges, though. He's out of it. No, he got tickled, and Jungle gets the clutch in the end for Bliss to now get on the board.
Jungle again, the linchpin, the key player. Want to get this man insured because he is untouchable right now. Very nice. Just seeing the consistency throughout. You know, obviously this series somewhat. You know, he's had a couple of decent rounds, and then also all the way through yesterday, we just saw so much from him, and especially playing on these, you know, different agents too. It's not just, you know, the one, all his eggs in one basket pretty much. He can play it around as much as he wants.
Alrighty. 1 on the board for Bliss, as we have a bit of a pause to come on through right now from the side of Order. This is a tactical nature approach as well from them, so we'll just see what they're going to be able to talk about. As it does get unpaused, we can go back into it. A bit of a play to come through for Bliss, going for what looks like a push through the B short and the A short at the same time.
Bronski already all the way down. Has to get out of there though. No information really gathered as of yet. This could potentially be the time where Bliss are able to start turning it around slightly. Autumn just on the other side. Look at this. From Flashes, great flash through, but he almost whiffs. Does actually manage to find one. Disco good for the trade though. I'm liking the confidence from Flashes though with this Sky, and now Ronski moving on in, jumping around the corner. Narrowly misses the right click, and Texter will be traded. So it's still a man advantage going the way of Bliss, but Sign, he does have the Rolling Thunder available, and Tuck's still in play.
Still around it as well. The division does get seen through the Cosmic Divide, and Major falls just beforehand as well. So as the blindings do go on through, it is just going to be Jungle being on the back of the site with Easy. They want to clear out this corner though, however, because they need to be able to get that spike. With the Rolling Thunder fading away, they line up. The Sign finds Jungle, and Easy now brings it into a 1 versus 1, but Tux is good on the Phantom, and he ends it in the end. 1 alive for Order though, pretty costly considering how their economical standpoint is right now. But if we do look to bring up the scoreboard, we should be noting in the fact that it is going to be an eco to come through for Bliss here.
Yeah, man. Order, they've done very well to keep Bliss honest with their economy, even in these rounds, or the one round that Bliss have won. It's not been the greatest. You know, it was that individual performance from Jungle once more. Ronski looking to get down nice and aggressive, only with the Bucky. He will at least be able to find someone, but how does he play this? That's going to be the question. Just tucked into the cubby. Not looking to swing on down. And I think that Boombot will actually find him, so unfortunately, may have to get out of there. Information already gathered.
They're just going to get out of it. Really, Bliss, you're looking for only frags on the back of some crossfires. Right now, if you get yourselves in a situation where you might want to justify using the Showstopper, you definitely could to be able to find something as well. Once he's going to be taken down relatively low, where the regrowth of these teammates, Sky, being on the other side of the map, is not going to assist to get the extra HP there. The Orb, as I do see it, there has been farmed up in the showers as well already from Bliss's side, so at least they're getting 2 ticks on the ultimate charge for one of the players in this round, and now they're just trying to see if they can get anything else, because Order, they've already found the first 2 openers, as they do now look to try and establish the plan.
Great pick from Autumn there. Disco lining him up, but it will actually be Flashes to take it down, can recover. The Phantom and the Overgrowth is good as well, but look at Autumn, just so confident, so sharp, so handsome. Wearing a medal in that round with 4, as Order leading out with 6. Really starting to pick up the pace now.
Starting to pick it up, starting to get on a roll, but this is the thing we saw from Bliss in the beginning of Split, right? Now we see it from Order in the beginning of this map. Maybe we do see, again, Bliss be able to fight on back. a little bit later on, or maybe from it now, as they do have their rifles back in their possession. Although, Mitch, as I do remember it to be, last time these guys faced up on this map, it was 13-6 over towards Order, and technically it was the complete different agent lineup coming out from Bliss as well, testing something new potentially here. Just seeing how they fare maybe in a composition style of Order. We never know. Maybe we can ask them a little bit later to see what was the decision behind this composition. But West, just him being blinded there completely as well. We can still see the vision. We don't know exactly how blind they are. Signed wins it against West though, and now Order, they look to plant on through. It's going to be a retake for this.
If anyone wants to understand this game any better, it was that long aggression, having the flashes come out from the breach and the sky, just making it so painful. Texter, though, does manage to pick up another. Now, it's all on Ronsky and Jungle. Wow, I do think Ronsky actually does see one. Oh, no! Does miss the shot, but it's Disco with 3. Tux does go down in the round, and yeah, man, this is looking a little bit scary for Bliss. Order have just really started to charge ahead with no real action found. And again, it's just that 1v3 clutch from Jungle that netted them the only round. Major struggling a little bit, and that's what I feel like. It must be this mental block, right? Because they haven't been doing anything over the top. But I guess with that being said, just like that round we just saw previously, every time they've tried to go for the push, Order have had an answer. And with that double flash, it's just so scary to try and contest anywhere on the map.
Definitely is a composition that is interesting. That is one way to be able to say it. I still think I really like that other composition that I mentioned yesterday with, you know, the Brimstone Rays, you know, just the Sova, all of that utility to deny if you get plant down. I still think it was Kango who was able to bring that one out. I'm not 100% sure on that factor, but that's a story for another day, as Autumn has managed to find easy to start things off. It's on a Fuestus to see what he can do in the middle of the site with this judge. He's allowed and afforded a little bit of roam action right now. There's one. He does retreat as well. Bit of a whack-a-mole play to potentially be seen here. Gravity well to be used on top of the site here to keep Fuestus contained. As Major falls, Order do maintain a player lead, turned into a second now, and it should be the easy cleanup, but Fuestus finds another, making a third. No!
Texter with 4-2 in the round, Dion. Looking very clean. We've seen his Astra over the last few days, the last few weeks actually, in our various competitions, and he's so good at what he does. It's been such a joy to watch him develop as a player in this game, especially in the position that, you know, back in CS, he was sort of that entry, you know, and he was just always relied on for being super sharp. It was surprising to see him not go into this as a duelist, but that's what we speak about though, right? It's not the duelist role that needs to be the high fragging player. It can be anyone. We all still have weapons at the end of the day that can shoot. So Texter has been, definitely one of the players to watch in the region. And now contest up long, Major. No, he can't actually find it. He does get away with one, and now the paint shells puts him into it all. But teleporting away to safety, but Disco finds Fuestus.
Bruh, all these paint shells are being missed from both of these sides right now. One blinded, one going into just the garden to maybe just buy a little bit of time in the end. Order, they just gather the orb to be able to utilize the Seekers to go on out as well. Texter out in the open using an astral form. Let's get the smokes down, at least the right click from Ronsky. That misses.
Ouch.
Order 9 on the board. Potentially here on this Major has something to say. No, it is going to be the 9th for them in the end.
That's rough, man. It's not like Ronsky to miss those, and that's what I sort of start to feel. Order getting into the heads of Bliss a little bit. They're not doing anything away from standard. They're not doing anything crazily different. But it might just be, Bliss letting themselves feel the pressure. They would be tired from yesterday. Definitely. A lot of matches played, 8 maps. But regardless, you know, they've done so well to get here. They will be gathering second seed. They did manage to take Order to overtime on, you know, arguably one of their best maps. We still have Icebox around the corner as well, so plenty there. Ronsky up close, ignores one Ember. Does find one though, as Autumn contests his way back. He does have to get the Cloudburst down. He's gonna make it a little bit awkward. Easy, does get some information, but not before Autumn finds another. Great use of the Guiding Light over the top. Does get them back into the round. Here we go, a little bit of extra movement, but Tux does swing onto one more. Does the extra damage, and now to 1-on-1. Tux has an additional Guiding Light available. It's gonna be all onto Major. He does certainly have the position, but unfortunately, the Hawk doesn't do what he needs, and Major can close. Another round for Bliss, but it's two
Last
that
round
they
before
need
the
more.
switch.
Man, I'm just trying to calculate where these birds are going in this map and where all these flashes are as well, because not only are the guys in the server being completely blinded, we get the little eye on the screen, but then also we need to see the action, so our full screen isn't blinded them through. We don't know if they are completely without vision or not. It gets very chaotic for us as well as the guys in the server, but Order, they seemingly have a good grasp on it right now. It's 9-2 going into the last round of this half, Mitch, and they are going to be looking to try and find double digits here because the buy for Bliss is a little bit scrappy. They did lose out the previous, or they won the previous one, but they lost 4 of their players. Blades out for Autumn already as that orb being gathered too. Lots of ultimates from Order already getting on and down into it. The Seekers, the Rolling Thunder, as we divide and Blades for Autumn.
Look at Autumn go. Oh, no! I was going to say, making his way in behind the Seekers, he does miss the Blade Storm, but in the end, it's not going to matter. The man's got an Odin, full on disrespect at this point. But geez, Bronski, all on his lonesome into a 1-on-5. He's up inside Heaven, inside that Nebula. Does have the Vandal available, but they're already pushing in towards CT. The Trailblazer's going to come up, spot him out shortly. No, it's actually run past him. Didn't see him at all, or doesn't matter. Bronski finds 1, not going to be 2 though, as Tux will close, capitalizing the half, and Order lead out with 10 in an extremely dominant fashion, barely contested. And Bliss have so much heavy lifting to do on this attacking side.
Yeah, again, I kind of just do wonder for Bliss, what was the decision to be bringing out this composition, you know? Is it just a case of wanting to try what Order have thrown out to see how it is? Is it something that they have been working on to potentially catch them by storm? If it was, it unfortunately isn't really working right now. They've been punished left, right, and center by, as you do mention, Mitch, you know, the gun action at the end. Yeah, all this utility is going down, but it's all of the rifles and the multi-frags that are getting it done for Order in the end. Look at Autumn, look at Disco and Tux. I mean, they're all over double digits on the side of Order bar 1. Everybody pulling their weight extremely so. If Order find the pistol here as well, it could be seen as being just a landslide final match scoreline, but we'll hold it on this point for now. As Bliss, they will try and see what they can do in this pistol, though they've already lost 2 picks.
Yeah, man. Limping their way through. Easy has to teleport out and run away. Flesh to be dropped by Disco. And now Major, Easy have to try and find something here. They're getting aggressive on the way in. Disco with 3. Why wouldn't you at this point? The guiding light to come around, but it's not even needed. Autumn to drop Easy, and that is a flawless pistol round here. Man, oh man. I'm really starting to feel it for Bliss. Maybe it's just throw this map to the side and try to refocus into Icebox. But, you know, at that point, it's already 2-0 in the series for Order. And Bliss certainly hurting from losing out on Split in the end.
Imagine as well, though, if Order did come into this with the map advantage, Icebox would have probably been that one. Might have been a different turn of events if we were on that other veto system as well, where probably Split was picked, so we could see that same scoreline. Bind wouldn't have been picked by Bliss, that's for sure. They would have wanted to get out, you know, your Ascent first or your Haven, probably Ascent. Definitely would have been a different style of play, or rather a different outcome. But nevertheless, we are seeing what Bliss are going to be able to throw through in or this round. They drop the pistol.
Autumn just going as hard as he wants at this point in time. Tux goes in for the swing, does have the guiding light available. He actually got away really, really well with 2 just then. Oh no, stuck on the wall. Look at Tux now. Absolutely disgusting with his confidence. Jeez. I almost said sheesh for a second, but then I realized that was a horrible idea. 12-2 Order. Tux clearly has changed up a little bit from his Sky map the other day. Looking really, really good now here, and just great usage of the flashes, yeah.
It was a bit quiet from Tux the other day when he was playing Sky out through B long. You know, one of the things that I really did mention early on and noticed when we observe, of course, on this map was Tux was getting those flashes going down long, but they weren't really doing anything with them, you know? They were getting blinded, but they weren't going for the play on the back of it. They weren't setting up 2 players to be able to capitalize on the blindedness of Bliss. And at least it's good to see that they're changing it up, coming in toward this new map. Autumn again on the opening frag. I do want to see how many first bloods he actually does have. Easy should have been able to find that frag onto Disco with that brilliant snap that he's been able to throw on through. This is just a big diff of players right now on the aim. Bliss are not allowed any opportunities, and this is looking to be GG 13-2. Flash out from Questions, but he is sat down, and that is exactly how you want a map to go for Order to try and close out a ground final. Absolutely devastating in that scoreline.
Don't even know how to put that, right? That's just Oceanic Valorant to a T, basically, right? We see, the first map come out, it's split, it's crazy. We're sitting here thinking, okay, surely this is going to be a pretty dominant map for Order. It's not, it's 14-12, there's chaos everywhere, and then we move on to Bind, and we see that. So that's really it, I suppose. There's no other way to put it. Clearly, Order were feeling it. They were super confident, and you could just tell by the way that they were playing. There was heaps of laughter and chatter in the server. They know how good they are. Just let them have it at this point. But Icebox is what is next in store for us, Dion. We will send you all over a break, so you don't have to listen to us too much more. But again, thank you for watching and supporting not only us, but the teams at hand. And we'll see you guys all back next for Icebox.
I just time traveled. Today's a big day for past me. He just got the latest Vodafone broadband with super Wi-Fi. Wow. Which finally means Wi-Fi in all four corners of the house. What? Even there? I've got Wi-Fi in the garage. Yeah, we do. See ya.
Oh, it's still in the garage.
Yeah. Super Wi-Fi. Wall-to-wall Wi-Fi guaranteed.
Show me what you got. Back up, 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 back
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back once more for what could very well be the final map of our competition after an explosive start, of course, on Order's map pick of Split. Now they give it straight back to Bliss, 13-2 on Bind. So, yeah, again, overtime straight into that kind of thing. That's Oceanic Valorant. So welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed your stay. Once again, my name's Mitch Con Cannon. Alongside me, Dion Komodo Perrotta. Dion, we're going into Icebox. Do you think Bliss can bring it back?
They're going to have to if they want any chance of being able to, I guess, take one map away from Order in this, because we talked about it earlier. On paper, Order should be pretty clean in taking this series. We've seen some contention before between Order and a couple of other teams in the region. Was expecting two different things, you know, either a really, really quick one from Order, or it could be a little bit close on some of these maps. And I mean, I'm well receiving in the fact that we went very close on towards Split, but then we also got what we're expecting on Bind, right? So anything can happen moving over into Icebox. It is the first pick that Bliss has been able to throw in toward this veto system. It is a map that they are very comfortable in playing as well. They were able to take it against Wildcard 13-9 previously. So now let's see if they're going to be able to take it off of Order and send us into that that fourth map. But if not, then it's a well-fought victory from Order here today.
We have seen Icebox come out for Order a fair few times, knowing that we'll likely be seeing Tux on that Viper. But again, it was something that was crazy that we witnessed yesterday when, of course, Bliss did best wildcard on this very map. We saw so many high-octane plays. It gave us absolutely everything that we're looking for. So I'm hoping for something similar here. Once again, this is the grand final between these two teams. Stage 2 of the Valorant Oceania gets, of course, closed qualifier number 1. The top 4 teams, which have already been established, will be making their way to the finals. And there is another closed qualifier and open qualifier around the corner, obviously on May 13th. Make sure, everyone, you do sign up for that one. But we are moving into Icebox here, Dion, and checking out the agents. It is not the mirror matchup. We're actually going to see the Rays swapped out for the Reyna, with obviously Ronsky picking up the Jet here, with Major on the Reyna. But yeah, nothing out of ordinary. Looking forward to getting into this one.
Yes, sir. And Bliss, you're going to be starting on this attacker side as well. Ronsky opting to go on toward the Sheriff instead of getting out some shields and everything of the sort. But Major is going to be able to put some punishment down to Autumn to start things off. A dink out from Disco, looking for a second one. Quick on the heels as well from Texter here. But it is all nullified as Disco loses his eye. Texter. Oh, okay.
Hey, Tux. Winnable. Never mind. Precious will take him down, so Bliss get the much-needed opening. That's the first round I've actually seen them gather in a little while, even if you take into account the last 2 maps. So, very nicely done from Bliss. Able to get their way back in, only losing the 2 members. Disco and Tux finding a couple of here. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Definitely going to have to see so, Mitch. They do have the better weaponry going into this second round now, of course. We're just going to be able to see how much damage Order are going to be throwing at them. You know, the Viper meta, it is very toxic, of course, pun ensued, with how teams do play this one. A lot of time can be brought off that clock with the snake bites, with the shock darts, and even more so on the side of Order with the paint shells as well, if you want to talk about the post-plant scenario, especially when they go onto their offensive side. But right now, the Aldron's just going to be sent in from Bliss, clear all these corners. There's a little bit of gap in that wall, but it goes very deeply so that Bliss will be able to clear everything out, establish a plant, and now we go post-plant.
Plenty of damage being expended. A little bit too much onto Easy, but he does get out of there. Ronsky, aware as to Sign's location. Trying to get a couple of warning shots off. Nothing is there, though, as of yet. Easy still on 2 HP. Does get a little bit nasty. Ronsky going for the no-scopes with that Marshall.
One
Just
enemy
hoping they can
remaining.
find some damage, Major to go down, and this is basically them hoping for a flawless right now, and it will be. Meaning that Bliss will be nice and happy with their weaponry into the next one, not having to over-invest in the bonus rounds. But Order, fully equipped, ready to move. It's going to be a tough one for Bliss to lock down.
Certainly so. We have to wait and see if they are going to go with haste in this round, potentially to offset and split and divide the Order members. Of course, Icebox, lots of different avenues to get into all these sites. But again, really, you know, with the tendency on most of these maps, you have to get the mid control if you want to have a two-dimensional approach getting into all these sites. And even a 3D approach for Order, for Bliss rather, if they want to go below the tube as well as into the kitchens and down through the main long area. But regardless of that factor, they are going to be gaining control of mid to their best approach. Poison clouds down. Some slows have been heard going through as well. Ronski is on top of the tube with a Marshall. Major inside the tube. And Texter might be in for a rude awakening. He's going to shoulder peek behind his wall. Ronski gets seen going up. So that's a little bit of information. This Major seats in there. His team leaves him.
Cruising on around. No fatalities as of yet. Autumn looking to lock down that A position as is usual, and without the information being gathered by the recon bolt, that's going to be Autumn actually picking up the first. Disco good for a second. We'll need a heal though to come over and support him shortly. It is now a weakened Bliss heading on towards this site. Flesh is great take. He can get the barrier wall down, but actually inside the Viper's Bite, that's going to make it a little bit awkward. Major to drop Disco though, and now the Empress will be popped for him. And that's a second frag being found, but this miss goes out. Now he looks to continue the damage. Major, he's done so much here, runs out of bullets. Will pick up the Vandal though, onto the line, and Major can lock it down with 3. What a absolutely phenomenal hold from the Reina, and Bliss on top.
Bliss on the top 3 rounds. They do win the bonus round in the end towards Order's better weaponry. And it does just mean, you know, the individual prowess of the players are still here to be seen and echoed throughout the server, right? You saw that it got a little bit strugglesome for Bliss when the snake bites did go onto the site. They had to readjust where they were wanting to do so. But then Major just kind of does everything that he needs to do, shines on through, wins out the round for them in the end. And Order, it is going to be back to the drawing board for the current stage. See what they're going to be able to answer back with as the recon bolt is destroyed. Ronski does get tagged on up. He's going to have to fall on back. Texted down the tube already. But with this lean from Bliss going toward the A site, we do actually see 3 players here for Order. A grabbed orb from Signed, one step closer to Hunter's Fury.
So can they continue this streak of goodness? We would like to see them take at least a map in this series. Easy, good for the trade, needs a heal though. There's going to be the resurrection to come out. A little bit dicey only on this eco, but of course they want to still try and make sure they find as many rounds consistently as possible. And now, despite taking a lot of damage, look at this flank hit. That's actually the spike drop from Texter as well. Can use the barrier wall, getting up to this position. Great usage of utility. And Tux, I think he's actually spotted out Major as well. Does whiff the shots, however. A little bit dicey, but in the end, Tux, he gets it. Texter, though, does get taken down. And unfortunately, the knives do miss from Ronski, but it's not going to matter because Bliss still hold on. Another round secured, but they are losing members like flies. However, the money is still good.
Watching here.
Yeah, the economical situation for Bliss here is actually pretty stellar. You really look toward them. Do they want to get out an operator? The back on that is their aggression has really been what's helping them in this stage. Going together as a full team, as a unit, an operator would kind of, you know, negate that ability to be able to do so. Somebody just has to be posting up, and that somebody would probably be Ronski. Wouldn't really see Major be opting up on the operator. But for now, it is Order finally getting in another purchase into the game. Autumn posted up on the line with his own operator. The reveal does come out onto him. He has to fall back, and now he has to dodge the Hunter's Fury. Does so from the first start. The third rather, gets him.
Yeah, good pick from Easy onto Autumn as well. You know, one of the star and key players. Oh, Major! Ooh, a little bit rough, but he has actually managed to find it somehow. How is this guy alive right now? Yeah, Disco punished Ronski, apparently the defender here. And it's almost like you blink, and now it's a 1 on 5. Make that a none on 5. Ronski with 3, and Bliss are looking very similar to the way they did at the start of Split, right? You know? I mean, they were on the defending side. Now they're on the attacking side here on Icebox. And, oof. This is the start that they need. I do not want to see them falter.
As I said, the aggression to come out from Bliss, you know, it really doesn't leave any time for Order to be able to adjust. It was really unfortunate actually there for Autumn. He used the tailwind, he used the updraft to try and dodge Easy's Hunter's Fury, but in the end, Easy got the 2 tags that he needed to do, and he ended up eliminating him for the first frag, and then everything just followed in quick pursuit for the boys on Bliss. Now, in this new round, Order, they have 5 ults to play with. Autumn drops the spike, ambitious to go for another challenge, and he's re-peeking as well. Back shot it towards jungle, however. He wants another one. You know he wants another one. Ronski is up close and personal.
Clean.
More blades from Autumn. As he misses the last one, there is still a player advantage for Order. No heal, no resurrection, rather, to come on through. Classic for him. How has he escaped with that one? Surely you don't give an ace over towards him when he uses one on the Classic to find the 4th kill. Major now. How does he play this one out?
Well, look at how much he's got to find. The spike is down in an awkward situation. Autumn obviously is fired up with 4. He's collected a Vandal. He's holding the tight line. They want to give him the ace at this point, and he looks like he might actually find it. Gathers the information. The Major is good for it. Damage is dealt. It is expended, but Disco with the swing. So, you know, you can't rely on one duelist for all 5 at times. You've got to get the second to find the closer. And Disco gets Order back onto the board, but Autumn with a big, big play. 4 or 5 of his kills in the 1 round.
You look at that too, and he's probably, you know, thinking to himself, if only I tapped that instead of spraying it, because you know how fickle the Vandal spray can be in this game. So a very big round from him on those blades as well. Still don't know how he's been able to find that frag on towards Easy with the Classic, but it is what it is. Order are on the board from finding that Thrifty. Still a couple of ultimates to be able to play with in this round as well. The Resurrection being a big one. If they can get the Viper's pick down for a post plant, they could definitely see Tux damage out on through. I remember we cast our minds back, Mitch, around the ace site from Tux. You know, that 1 versus 3 a little bit ago. The big play on that one. But regardless, Bliss, they are still holding the lead here. They will for a little bit. It's on to Order to see how they play out this defensive side to bring it back.
Creeping around now, hoping to gather the control. Only Tux locking down the B site. Toxic screen to go up. And they are actually starting to switch onto this, though. Happy to leave Autumn just at the sort of 1 peak spot. Tux, I don't think he actually found the shot. No, the timing doesn't favor him. Texter, though, at least can find the trade. Major good for a second in this position. That is going to be the Devour. Now the Empress is popped. Easy finds another. And this is the pacing being picked up once more from Bliss, only allowing Order to collect the 1 round. And now Major can go hunting. He is hungry for more, needs a feed on the way through on that Reyna. Obviously, it's one of the things, you know, it is a steamrolling champion. But yeah, look, 2 versus 5. Autumn just wants to hope to save. And I don't think Bliss really wants to throw themselves away either. Should be a frag found for Autumn. It will be. So, nothing taken out of the rounds.
Pretty clean from Bliss, all things considered. Although in this hunt, they are starting to lose a couple of their players. Of course, they've got the money to be able to offside that, so it's all good in the end. Autumn wants this operator in the next one, and get it back of the head. Russians will take it out of his hand. That really changes the buy now for Order as well. They had that operator. Signed has money. Disco has money. Autumn would have been okay. The rest of the team as well, then, you know, Autumn could have dropped something over potentially. That just really is impactful going into their new purchase. They're deciding what they want to do going into it. Autumn's 2 away from the Blade Storm. If they can maybe go and get one of the orbs, and maybe he finds a pick, he brings it on out, or even if he is able to, you know, go get both orbs, but I doubt they'd allow him to do that.
So all the pressure does really start to amount on Autumn. Does have the rifle in hand. Of course, Ronski's already made his way through mid. Look at how much control. Oh, dude, this is scary. This is very, very scary. If they're not looking over towards this mid position, they've got to know. They've got to have the information. There's a second member. Ronski's picked it up, but he's going to turn away. Actually does get the tailwind. And Ronski, he's doing it again, Dion. Continuing to blow my mind. Left, right, and center. Disco can get one, but he pushes around, has to try and recover something else. Ronski still hunting. But he's not over-aggressing either, Dion. He's playing it wise. He's playing it smart. And he's going to let the team get the spike down. holding from the spawn position. Disco does collect another. Now he knows. Ronski, not quite. He's run out now.
One enemy remaining.
Surely
this
they
is
don't want to
winnable.
throw this one away. Ronski has to go big. It has to be the ace now.
It does have to be the ace. He's got a Vandal, 100 points of HP, enough bullets as well with the rocket from Disco. Surely he wins it. Yep, that's it. This is the round
How
for
do they
order.
throw that?
That's very unfortunate. There was what? All the kills from Ronski bar one? Well, I say all the kills.
No, Ronski got 3.
No,
and
Ronski
then
got all of them.
everyone
Yeah,
died.
3. There was no res.
Yeah. That was like the weird thing about that round is it looked like they were actually playing it smart. Like I've seen time and time again, Ronski just like over aggressing and he gets 1, 2, 3 and then he maybe overextends. But it didn't happen that time. He didn't hunt for the frags. Somehow the team just got picked apart and yeah, that was a round that anyway, we won't go on too long about it, but that was a round that Bliss never should have lost ever.
Yeah. Nah, that is for sure, and that's going to be one of the tilting factors potentially as well. Although we know that Bliss are very, mind focused into this game with their season careers in the game across all different titles as well. But now a 1-on-1 trade comes on through. Westchus, you want to see him actually grab the orb there, go for a plant. He's got resurrection. It's going to be the Viper's Pit brought out by Tux to lock down the ace site by himself. As the toxic screen is also up for the B site, it does mean that there's a little bit of the vision obscured right now. Autumn is tempting fate on this location. If that wall drops, he doesn't have a tailwind to at least escape quickly as well. So he has to hit his shot, and he has to do so pretty cleanly. But the wall goes down. Nobody for Bliss is in his sights. He will look to reposition safely.
Here.
Okay. 50 seconds. Timing. Ronski will be punished by Texter. Love that late round control. Jumping onto the top of the snowman. Autumn doesn't spot anything on the aggressive position, but he will gather the information now. Recon Bolt destroyed. The wall is down, however. That should allow them to find the plant. The wall looking to be destroyed. Now the Viper's Pit goes down. This is where the chaos ensues, Dion.
Chaos ensures around the pit. This is the big thing where Jungle WoW needs to be able to find everything he needs to do. And Order, they have found what they needed to do. It's all on to Westchus, who loses his life as well. The thing that I do find interesting, though, in that round for Bliss, right? They've got a bit of a lead here. As I mentioned, Westchus 2 away from the resurrection. If he did grab the orb and he grabbed the plant, they could have brought a body back in to be able to lock down a little bit easier and play a little bit more of a passive approach with the numbers. Not advantage, but a stronger number play than what they were in with it with. So it is quite unfortunate there for Bliss. But in the chaos of the action order, they do manage to take away with another round. And more importantly, all 5 alive to back their economy.
How's this, though? Jungle, the man who was absolutely carrying Bliss up against Wildcard yesterday, down to 1-5. It's been very much, again, the Bliss and Ronski show. Not that it isn't always, but easy flashes. They do their necessities. Now trying to hold onto the line. Our drone destroyed. Autumn has to dash away. Jumps up on top. Not going to quite find it, but he's going to get Ronski. And that is good use. This is what you love to see.
Oh, no.
Partly the reason why Autumn is such a fantastic player. Mage against 1, but the dismiss is good. And they've absolutely perfectly baited this one out right now. Resurrection onto Ronski. This should be a round that is Bliss.
Texter, though, he wants to shut them down. Ronski down. Heal onto his own body. No shields to be able to be seen. Tux, though, he's pushing inside. Managed to find one on the dart. Everything's happening. It's chaotic right now. It's all down to Tux. A 1 versus 2. He's already found one in the round. It'll be a 3k for him. He heard easy drop on down, but he doesn't know exactly where he maneuvered to. And Bliss will now at least change over the half with a round advantage, a victory. They can't be overtaken, that's for sure. Order are going to chase up 5 here. And I do want to mention as well something, Conky, when we were rambling on at the very beginning of the game, shout outs to Crash, because he did provide us with the diet milk.
Nah, look, I do have to admit, it is one of those things. It's not dissimilar to MC in the CS world, right? We've got some incredible talent here in Oceania, whether it be, on air or player or even, observer, production, that kind of stuff. We've got so many people that are doing really, really big things. And yeah, Crash is one of them, putting in big amounts of work. And what a time to do it, right? You know, Valorant, it's a very, very chaotic game. It can be super hard to keep up with everything. So having someone like Crash on board with us is makes us be able to do our job that much better.
Indeed. Tailwind from Autumn. Oh, you'd hate to see him lose his life again to the Hunter's Fury of Easy. It's actually going to be Precious on the rifle to be able to take it away. And Ensign in return is Sign on the Hunter's Fury, which doesn't even get a single tag out in the end. That last one as well, missing completely. For all of the games that we do see in the weeks, the burnout of Bliss that they've mentioned, you know, that does provide Crash a lot of ability to hone his craft on the observing, but honing of the crafts is when do you peek out from a position, and Tux, he peeks out at the right time there for 2.
Player standing.
And now it's just down to Precious.
Tuxter, the duo, getting the job done once more. 2 apiece for both of them. Very, very clean and concise in the defense. And Bliss lose another chance to really start to charge away. Could be seeing something similar to what we did see on Split. Obviously, Bliss only 1 round away from making it so. But Order, they want to continue to go forward. They want to try and close out this 3-0.
Certainly do. Last round in the half. See who's going to be able to find the opener. Autumn on a usual expected line is going to get leered off the mark. He's going to echo a bullet out as well, revealing that he was on that line of sight. Aldrin to be sent on in for a little bit of reconnaissance, as well as the Leah is going to force Order back. A very great exploration around this site for Bliss, though if it goes 5v5 in a post-plan scenario, we know, of course, it's going to get chaotic for everybody involved in this game.
Many a thing happening. 4 versus 3 now in favor of Bliss. Empress still available for Major. The resurrection actually on both sides as well. Major looking to swing around, spots out one more. He's still inside that. Empress narrowly missing the shots, but has to try and find something. Tux got to swing onto it easy. Good for the trade back. Texter also good for another. Now into a 2-on-2 again. Somehow continuing to lose these advantages by way of Bliss. Texter, he's aware of it, drops onto his barrier wall, does find it, but it's traded back, and Jungle, wow, finally in his clutch situation, picks up 2, and Bliss take away 8.
Switching sides.
Take away 8, pretty decent in at the end. Lots of trade frags happening left, right, and center. Good usage from Texter there on top of the wall as well to sniff out exactly where Fweshus was, but it is Jungle to find 2 frags in the end there to clutch it out. And he's actually had a bit of a quiet one in this one. You know, he had a huge showing on Icebox yesterday. Specifically, you know, that 1 versus 5 clutch that I don't think will leave our minds for a very long time. But now it's kind of just been very punishing over towards him. And I guess we do change sides now. So it could lean over to him just being posted up on some lines with this Viper. But again, in the exchange, it does give a little bit of, you know, welcome change for Order. They can now try and dictate a little bit of the tempo.
If they win this map, at least it can sort of give them a little bit of extra life and hope into the next. But yeah, man, it would be a shame to see them go with nothing, but they've certainly at least shown us so far that they are resilient and, you know, a team that still with a little bit of extra work will actually be able to contest the top teams. But there we go, it's Order to jump on top once more. Major does manage to get the Devours off though again, and that's a 3rd frag for Bliss. Now Major still trying to dismantle this defense that is the Order Giant. Looking to the left side, gets a couple of shots off, 6 bullets, nothing remaining, but on the rope, it's not quite enough, and it will be Signed and Tux to close a 5th for Order. That is exactly what we talk about. Scary.
A little bit shaky from them with those bullets coming out of the ghosts at the end there. Took them a while. You could see that on the rope, there were shots as well going through where Science just couldn't find the player on there. But nevertheless, for Major's efforts, it does go on down to Order's rounds. Mitch, and they're going to be able to force it up into this one. Buy on up, Bulldogs through, Spectres as well. Nothing from Bliss because we know they have rifles in the next round.
Absolutely. Be very important for them to win that one. Otherwise, the Order comeback train, very, very scary to deal with. Tux getting on up. Got a utility sent out, easy. Not going to be able to find anything. 2nd for Tux in the round. Pretty happy with that Viper. Precious looking to swing on in. Will be taken down as well. All in a jungle well. 1 versus 5. Just looking to get this round over and done with. Tux with 3. Got to be happy with that one. And Order closed the gap down to 6. But now it's the bonus. Once again, very important round to win and really can set up the pace for the rest of the half.
Really am getting split vibes on this match right now, Mitch. It was the similar sort of affair that we saw from it. It was 7 in a row for Bliss on that one. It was only 5 on this one, but we ended up the half in the similar scoreline 8-4. Well, the exact same scoreline, really, just on the different sides of this map. This map right now, as I said, tending over towards that offensive side where you can dictate a little bit of the pace better. And that's exactly what Order are going to look to do so again with right now. Wesh just using this wall very early on to provide a little bit of a different headshot angle. Make his noggin very protected. Got that hard hat on. As he will look for the first frag as well. He will be missing off so. It's making to find Autumn though to start on through. Ronski on Stexter as well. Starting to lay down the law, put down the punishment in this bonus round where Order, they are yet to answer with anything.
Yep, very nice. That's Ronski with 2 as well. Fleshius looking to hold that line onto Tux, and he will find it. Signed is in an awkward situation, only with this Bulldog. There is a world where he can win this, but it looks like everyone's swinging on around. He does find 1, but now Ronski getting up close and personal. The shock dart, not quite enough to find him. 3 for Ronski on that jet. Bliss pick up the 9th, but Order, they're going to be contesting straight back in with a full buy into this next round.
And we're going to have to see if they're going to be able to bring it on back as well, because Bliss are going to be knocking on the door of double digits right now. Also looking toward a couple of their ultimates. Ronski one away from the Blade Storm. You know he might want to push up toward this A orb and be able to find it, although he has decided to purchase on up the Vandal completely. So that would suggest that they're just going to be playing out with the rifles and maybe not going on for the contestation of that orb. Over on the other side for Order, there are a lot more players that are getting closer. It's like as a team, they're all growing up in numbers little by little, as both of the poison or toxic screens rather have been deployed. We're now going to see those leans over towards the B site and immediate rotations as well from Bliss.
Absolutely. All the way over. Happy to leave up A for the taking. The Aldrone out. Gives the information nice and early. Jungle to sit inside that paint shields though is going to do a little bit of damage early on. Ronski not looking to overextend. They're actually going to allow the spike to be planted. So it's going to be almost a full 5-on-4 retake. Tux does make quick work of 1. Disco with another. But the barrier wall is down. Now the recon vault to be sent on out. Does get destroyed very, very quickly as well. Ronski has to jump out, try to find this additional control.
Look at them as well. They're just going to back out right now. Tux has done what he needed to. He found Major on that flank who pushed through Tube, and it's just in the mindset of Bliss that they're not sure if Tux has gone back to join his team on the site or if he is holding down the flank to potentially crunch them from behind. And it is just toying with their minds so much that they didn't want to invest into the retake completely. They'd already lost 2 picks. They were down in the 3 versus 5. Now they're in a 1 versus 5 scenario to try and save this weapon for Fleshist, where he will be allowed to do so because no one is on the prowl so close. But it does mean that Order finding a flawless victory in this round adds a little bit of their economy going into the next one. They just rebuy the abilities that they used in that one, but it also kind of sows the seeds of doubt in Bliss's heads, right? They just lost a round where they had the full rifles, they went for some mid-aggression, and then they didn't have any extra info to be able to see if Tux was on that flank. So it definitely is going to change a little bit of the pace here for Bliss.
What do they have in store for us now? It is the straight aggression on in. Trying to find something off the back of that Blade Storm for Ronski. Easy even getting to that location as well, but immediately that's the entirety of the Blade Storm expended. Has to tail updraft to get out of there as well. So unfortunately, the aggression straight up from Bliss doesn't really net any early reward, and they've lost a lot of the stuff that they've been working with as well. There's the Aldrone to be taken down too. Got to hope for something a little bit later, but yeah, man, it's definitely looking like it is the Order show again, opening for Autumn.
It's weird, right? We say the Order show, even though they are trailing, because we know that a situation like this, that Bliss get a little bit fickle, Order will capitalize upon, and they will group up, make good use of all of their experience behind this roster and what they've been able to pick up during this game so far. Not even on just this one map, it's across all of the maps that they've played in this tournament. Jungle Wow, though, for now, does at least equalize us in the 4-4, but Texter could go for the res. how would he get up on top of the yellow cargo container? So 4-4 on this retake for Bliss. Let's see what they're going to be able to charge in with.
Swinging around, Texter though, good for 2. Make that a 3rd, not quite the 4th. Jungle, okay, does pick up a couple, but it's not quite going to be enough here, the 3K. But there we go, another round picked up by Order, and their pacing is just unreal right now. Bliss certainly have to be feeling a little bit hot on the collar. They will have another investment to come on out, but we're not going to be able to see the operator in the hand of Ronsky either. It's just going to be the Vandal, the Light Shield. We do see Autumn actually pick that one up. Going to go for the early contest, but yeah, man, 1 round away. If you're Bliss, you need to make sure that this round is secured.
Just letting out the feelers right now, seeing how everything floats in. Times like these, you know, you welcome a little bit of silence. As we have a different deployment of the toxic screen over at this side of A. Does really contain and bring the forces of Bliss over here. The headshot line, Autumn sees it, the bait on through, but Flesh just falls first. Want to maybe see a situation like this where a Viper's Pit gets put on toward the site from Bliss from Jungle Wow, but he's actually not here. So that's not going to deter Order away. I'll wait for the heals to go over towards Autumn to offset it, but Bronski is able to find out and find Disco to equalize us up. Resurrection quite vulnerable. They want to be able to play with it, but really, this is just slow peaks happening, you know. That's what it is, slow peaks.
1 by 1 by 1.
You will not kill my allies.
Texter even gets the res, rubbing salt in the wound a little bit for Bliss, but there is only 30 seconds, so they need to make their way up very, very quickly. Sign has already found his way all the way over to B, however, and getting his way in towards Heaven. Pushing on through. It's going to be very, very tough for them to find their way back into this. No use of the wall. Sign is going to hear out Jungle. They've just played this to perfection again, though, Order. I don't really know what they're going to do. They're just going to try and save again, it appears, but I think Order are happy to hunt for them.
Yeah, the money situation looks to be all right now. This is just a really strange round, though. Like, if you think about it as well, right? It was just picks happening one at a time. No trades really being seen. The operator for Autumn getting stuff done. He gets healed up in the end. It's just really a clean round to come on through for Order. Now in the hunt, Major does at least dispatch of Autumn, where Texter will pick up the operator. Maybe does see them that they don't want to run in to find any more frags, but they are grouping up. They're keeping Bliss contained in this site. Oh, and they find 2 again in the end. That is quite punishing. Oh, they find all of them.
They're all gone.
Oh, that's rough.
Man. That is very, very rough. What do you do in this position if you Bliss right now? It feels like I'm being so negative towards it, but it's just hard to sort of, you know, wrap your head around this situation, given the fact that Order are just sort of charging towards this victory position. Bliss still well and truly can win this out. Definitely can take it to map number 4, which of course will be Ascent Haven, the finale, if it does get that far. Major spotted out early. But once again, it's not exactly the weaponry that you'd love to see if you were Bliss. Obviously just gentle save.
Yeah, 1 in from Jungle. I tell you what though, Jungle, defensive player.
Yeah.
A little bit of a feeling.
Spike planted.
Oh, look, it might just be a little bit of a struggle straight on that attacker side and toward this one, but for the defensive side of him, it's where we kind of have seen him be able to shine. So, not going to think too deep in toward it, I guess. Order, they will take a lead here now. Looking to run it in home. Lots of ults to be able to play with. Easy one away from the Hunter's Fury on the flip side of Bliss. I just really do wonder, in a situation like this where Order have kind of been allowed free reign on this attacker's side, Do you go for something very ambitious from Bliss? Do you go for a bit of a stacking of the B main area, the B long area with your wall and try to get very close, you know, a tailwind to dash on through and really take it towards Order? They're not going to be able to do so, of course, right now, but I mean, if you're Bliss, you want to try and change things up, right? You want to try and just take the pace back into your own making and not let Order dictate it.
Jumping on up, Major, very aggressive, but unfortunately with that, he is punished again. It's going to be the blades for Autumn, and look at how hard he's charging right now. Will actually be taken down by Easy. Jungle to get another one as well, but it is traded by Disco. No resurrection available for Order, but there is one here for Bliss. Actually, never mind, Texter must have got it off the back of the spike plant. Yeah, exactly, picks up one more. Viper's Pit also down, Signs. Getting the damage off with that Hunter's Fury. He's done so much. Not quite the second, but now Fleshes has to go for the res. And right now, it's just an all-out brawl to see. You know, it's desperation right now for Bliss. And it is very much Order in the pole position. Sign picks up another. The utility usage from this Soba has been so sick to watch. And man, unfortunately, it is just Bliss trying to hightail it out of there. The first time Ronski gets the operator and Order make the charge towards that B site. Nothing they can do. Ronski taken down, and Order are just that far ahead of the curve right now.
Oh, well, a couple of them do lose their lives to the spike, but they stuck around to make sure there was nothing there from Bliss. Chaotic in that one, right? Both teams utilize the Resurrection and the Hunter's Fury. It works over towards Order better so, because we didn't see any picks come through from Easy, unfortunately. I don't even know if we saw a tag, actually, because he missed where the plant was going down that allowed the Resurrection to come on through. We also saw the Viper's Pit be brought on out from Tux, where he didn't actually find anything in amongst it, but hey, it certainly did obscure some big old vision and make Bliss kind of be more vulnerable. Only one of those players do survive in toward this new round, where Ronski is going to be picking up the Blade Storm. Jungle is going to utilize the Viper's Pit very, very early in amongst the A site to navigate Order around to B potentially, where they do find the first opener. Ronski, he is charging forward. Probably would like to see him actually retreat back and go get some heals in a situation like this.
Maybe wise. All the way around, trying to punish Autumn, getting the Cloudburst up, but the repositioning, look at Texter. Texter's going to find him. This is just the experience again. Bronski, narrow vision, constantly tunneling onto those locations, and now they're waiting for the flank as well. Order still at a disadvantage, however, and just still chilling inside that Viper's Pit. It looks like Order might actually start to cruise on out and head their way over towards B. Easy is at least there to lock down the position, but on the other side, A is going to be a very, very dicey territory to head towards. And I think, you know, Order know that. They're not really sort of super keen to head over to that position. Easy has a very, very big task ahead. Surely has heard the orb collection from that now. Sitting yellow box. Crash, show us, mate. Do you think Easy can do it? He's going to be spotted. There's the opener, though. Sleuthing around the box, trying to make it go big and work for him, but Signed will deny it. All members rotating over now, but that should be the spike being planted for Order.
And a player disadvantage as well. They're going to have to see what they can bring it on through. But there is Signs being able to find Major. A heavy blow in toward this round for Bliss to stay activated and stay alive in this game right now. Because if they go into the last round with bare bones action and bare bones weaponry, they're not going to be able to really look at the fighting face to be able to take out this game. Signed for his third. Superior on the rifle. Gets out the recon. Attacks Weshest as well. He gets swung upon. Signed, though, he's toying with his food right now. Mitch, he needs to just chuck out the decisive blow. Dig on towards Weshest. He probably wants to heal, but knows he's so vulnerable in a 1 versus 2. Shots up through from Texter. And we maneuver into grand final seeding point.
Match point.
Wow. It's, yeah, kind of just run away, hasn't it? There's not been really one convincing opportunity, and I think there was that one round where Ronski managed to pick up 3 with the Blade Storm, and then it just sort of all fell apart in a 2v5, it felt like, I believe. And that was a round that Order turned on its head, clutched through. And pretty much ever since then, it's just been dominant fashion for Order. And look at the frags across the board, just everyone doing their part. Even Signed in that round, it was basically a solo 3K. Texter obviously G'ing him up on the Sage, not too far behind. And one more opportunity, and it's going to be Autumn to find Fleshest. immediately. Oh my god! Absolute filth from Autumn. Looking to find that line. They're pushing on into him as well. I think he's going to try and go for it. Is there another flick available? Not quite. Easy. Taking down Autumn. At least equalizing slightly.
Definitely do welcome a sense of autumn in the winter wonderland of the frozen barren wastelands of Icebox here. Mitch, Order, they have been heated up today. A one-on-one trade comes on through with the spike down. It's all on a Major and Co to be able to finish it off. But Major, he whiffs out some bullets. Not expecting the extra rapid fire on the Empress there, potentially with that Phantom onto Easy. 1 versus 3 could pull it through. He would need to. It would be a massive clutch for him. Overlooks the position of 1, finds Texter. However, they look to give him an even duel in the 2 1 versus 1s, but they're dancing around the side.
Ring around the rosy.
Gets signed, and there you have it, folks. Order will claim the 3-0 in this grand final.
A little bit anticlimactic, I'm sort of feeling like, after such an explosive start that we did have. And obviously, you know, a big credit to Bliss. They did do very, very well on Split to start us off. And then the exact same light where they were able to at least sort of, you know, take the test to Order, of course, on Icebox. But that's 2 8-4 leads that they unfortunately did squander. And look, you know, when it comes to the ability of Order and the consistency, the composure, like, again, every single member of Order is not only a really good player individually, but they're just so well played as a group. You know, the team synergy is almost unmatched, and I think that's why they you know, did so well. But guys, bringing it to it, it's the mastermind of Tarks, Tyler. How you doing, my man? That one just felt a little bit too easy for you guys, it seemed.
Yeah, good image, how are you?
Good mate, good mate.
It was alright. I feel like they weren't really playing properly. It's a bit of a drain playing a best of 5 for seeding. So I think we were sort of, everyone was just playing a bit fast, a bit maybe not too serious.
Yeah, I got a little bit of the feeling on that as well, specifically when we looked over toward that second map, right? You guys had changed up your agent composition going into binds, and we saw that from Bliss as well. They kind of mirror matched you for 2 of the maps tonight. You guys kind of just slapped them on binds there. Do you get a feeling like going in towards a later stage in the competition that this comp on bind is working for you guys?
Yeah, I reckon that comp on bind's lit. Just double flashes, everyone flashing, and if you can coordinate your attacks properly, it's actually elite. Have good setups on CD side.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You're looking really good on that Sky. A little bit better than yesterday, but nah, man, look, you guys are obviously looking fantastic, bro. But I guess off the back of that, you know, as you mentioned, this is just seeding. You guys make your way, obviously, to the Stage 2 finals. You're already at the top, consisting towards the regional finals. So is there any sort of further thoughts? Are you guys working on anything behind the scenes that may take you to that next stage? Because I know you guys want that international setting towards the end of the year.
No, we're just looking at getting better each day, doing what we can, trying out new agents, new comps, and just trying to improve ourselves. The team's going really well. Everyone's getting along really well. Everyone's putting in a lot of work. It's really enjoyable to play in this environment at the moment. But yeah, we're just looking to get better.
Now, of course, we will be witnessing you guys trying to get better as well. Definitely sitting up on top of the regions at the moment. Tux, before we do let you go, do you have any final thoughts on the matter?
Yeah, I mean, look, to be honest, playing a best of 5 for seeding with no map advantage and double elimination bracket is a bit of a stitch up. But I still appreciate LPL putting on the event. And shout out to the other teams. But yeah, hopefully the format can be reviewed in some way. Obviously, I know a lot of teams asked for double elimination, so did myself, or I agreed with it. But you know, we shouldn't have to play a full best of 5 if we won the entire upper bracket. Everyone else got to lose a game except us, really, in the end. So if we lost that grand final, it would have been a bit of a huge stitch up. But other than that, GG's to everyone we played, and thanks for casting, and thanks to all the admins adminning, and we'll see you guys in the Stage 2 finals.
Yeah, nah, fantastic, man. And look, I appreciate the honesty, and obviously can't wait to have a beer with you, my friend, at next time we are available. But look, again, I think very, very fair words from Tyler. He is obviously one of the pinnacles of our scene. Everyone's always looked up to him as a bit of a role model, and fantastic to hear from him. But I think just by the way, he sounded super cool, calm and collected. There's no surprises today. Super clean to come out with that victory, unscathed entirely. But Dion, before we do wrap up, you guys have seen it all. We know exactly what's happened. It's been an electric 4 days, very, very long. I almost even want to go have a nap, despite it being 5:30 at night. But look, apologies again, guys. I just want to say a big thank you for putting up with my lack of casting tonight. I've got a migraine at the moment, so it's kind of killing me. But massive shout out, obviously, to yourself, Dion, for bringing me along, and everyone else who was a part of this broadcast over the last 4 days, because we've put in a lot of hours and it's been a lot of fun. Shouts to Pilsky, shouts to Digital, obviously Crash on the obs, Rozo, Fraser and Toby as well, who have been there getting it done, and everyone behind the LPL team. Dion, again, any closing words, man, before we do wrap up the broadcast and send everyone home?
Just to let the people know that the closed quals for number 2 do start on the 13th of May. The signups as well are open at midnight tonight, according to the New Zealand's time, as I do believe it as well, with the open quals on the 28th of April. So make sure if you do want to have your chance to get into the next stage as well, to go sign up toward those.
Absolutely, man. We've been talking about it all competition, right? It's super important. Teams like Straight Out of the Zoo, they were a team that had nobody. They were an LF3, and obviously they're in and amongst it very, very nicely, taking down Direwolves, taking down, was it Direwolves? Yeah, it was. And Direwolves and Mindfreak, being able to do that with minimal to no practice at all. So, there's definitely big opportunities for some teams that are newer to come into the later stages of this competition. But, that's all from us right now, guys. Once again, a massive thank you and a huge shout to everyone who has been involved in this competition. Please have a safe and restful remainder of your Sunday. You guys are all absolute legends. We'll see you at the next one.